What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G. I'm alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast, where we are here to talk about a couple of things. First things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Hope it's not super. I mean, we'll try to keep everything to the point.
I
know sometimes we like to we like to get deep into things, but I think we just keep it like.
Yeah, most of this entertainment stuff ain't deep at all.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if you are familiar with this, but Chris Brown has been one of the most attacked individuals of all time.
Rihanna,
Yeah, right. And this is not to say that he hasn't, I guess, deserved some of that stuff. But for those of you that may be unfamiliar, Chris Brown recently, or one of his most recent accusers, because I feel like he gets accused by
like every few months.
Yeah, by some random.
Yeah.
So he was able to produce. I'm not familiar with the young lady's name. I would put it out here to put her on blast because I feel like she deserves some sort of
Should I find it?
Jail time. No.
Don't give free clout.
Don't give her the clout.
I mean, it's not like
she deserves some sort of punitive damages, jail time, fees, fine, something like that.
Especially knowing like his history and like knowing that could low key work.
Yeah, that's
the nasty part.
I'm gonna get into that, but again, for those of you that are
continuing damaging reputation is evil.
Those of you that are unfamiliar with the situation, Chris Brown was accused again of raping a young woman during a one-time interaction in a hotel room, I believe. And Chris Brown was able to produce a number of texts, pictures, voice recordings
to prove his innocence.
Yeah, a bunch of receipts. Basically, like, it was obviously consensual, but he was able to basically show that the lady has her dates all messed up. They were contradictory. She said these things happened on this day, but he said no, these things happened here. And basically, long story short, the day that she claims she was raped, there were messages after that of her sending nudes and messages saying you were the best I ever had and a bunch of kind of stuff like that. So he was. So
she's probably just mad that didn't work.
Yeah,
she thought she was about to get wifed because that's how these girls think.
That she was going to be
they're that special. Yeah, you're not special.
It didn't work. So he was able to, come with the receipts. And this is all supposed, obviously, because we don't know for certain. I mean, it has to be. Like, he was scrolling through. Like, that's the thing, though. He was scrolling through the messages. It wasn't really screenshots. It was a video of him scrolling through.
Yeah. Which I feel like he knew to cover that base.
Yeah.
It's so easy
to fake.
Yeah, or people to accuse you of faking that.
Yeah. So he was able to, clear his name there. But it's unfortunate. But like you were saying, the point you brought up is that it's so easy. Almost like I kind of feel like, and don't kill me because I know feminists and women like to tussle, but like part of the thing about the Me Too movement, where I felt like people were able to pile on because it was easy, and not necessarily that they not necessarily that they were wrong for doing so.
But it's like you talking about people who actually were like.
Yeah, I mean like I'm basically trying to say like not that some of the women that accused the men of doing the things, not that they were lying, but just the piling on because it's easy to. Because
it's kind of easy to come out with your story then when everybody else is.
Right, exactly. Now,
you're gonna get media attention.
And you got the movement behind you.
Yeah.
Now, for them, I don't blame them. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they might have just been scared. But that was the thing that gave them the courage.
Yeah, in this situation, it's like the nasty version where it's
like
there were accusations before.
You're piling on to accusations.
You're piling on to lies. Like, at least with the Me Too women, there was some truth behind those things. But
even though there could have been liars in that mix, too. That were using that moment to get some free clout and money.
For sure. But I wanted to bring this up to like, I feel like this conversation has been had before, but like, what are your thoughts as a woman about accusations against men for, sexual misconduct or rape or any of those kind of things? Like, how do you think that those situations should be handled in general? And then like, how should those that falsely accuse be handled?
Like, how should just accusations in general be handled? Like,
let's keep it
from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, let's say more so specifically just the false accusations. Like, how do you think like that should work? Like, from a legal standpoint, or like just anything?
It should be the same thing as Jesse Smollett. How he just got 30 months.
Yeah, but I like so.
Like, even over him, I don't know if you wrote that down, but with that situation, I still think maybe he didn't even need no jail time at all. I just think that, I mean, they tried to give him a chance to not get jail time, but he just will never admit to his lie, and he's still standing strong to his lie. So I kind of feel like he is deserved, because it's like, but you see in that situation, him filing a false police report and creating a fake hate crime, he got 30 months. I feel like there should definitely be some jail time and fines for false accusations, because I feel like it's actually more damaging than Jesse. Like in Jesse's situation, what did he damage? Just himself. He damaged his own reputation, his own career, you know? And that's what the judge was even saying. Like, you already did enough to yourself. Like, I don't really even got to punish you that much, because you already punished yourself. That's basically what the judge was saying. In a situation with false rape, the person that's getting harmed is the person you're accusing. And it's like, for that, you have to pay, because now you're harming someone else. Like, yeah, Jesse took money from, money and time for police resources. And they said, like, he did do harm to, like, other real victims of hate crimes. But it's, like, an actual tangible, like, 100%, like, proven harm that you do in a false accusation to somebody, like, accusing a rapist, like, is way more clear. Like, you ruin their reputation. Their name is tarnished. And that's why people sue and they get fines for the damages of what could have been. The what's it called? Like, what's it called when you like sponsorships or like deals? Like you ruin all that when you make these accusations. Because even if the court proves that you lied, the damage is already done. So I feel like they need to let those women like pay.
I feel like there should be something, and I don't even know what's more severe than money or jail time, but I feel like there should be more severe impacts for something that is clearly proven to be false. Because I think it gets dangerous when you're like, because there's not, in these court cases, there's not always an abundance of evidence that you can prove somebody to be either innocent or guilty. So there's a gray area there. But when it's explicitly clear without any sort of doubt, even a stitch of doubt, that there's a lie, I feel like there needs to be something more, because like you said, you damaged the person's reputation, any future deals. Like, if they try to go out and just have a conversation with another woman, if they heard about it, then they're gonna be like, like,
that's the thing, because people are still gonna be like, even if the court says not guilty, like, oh,
you're always guilty forever.
He definitely did it. Or there's people who are just out of the loop with media and news at all, and they will never even find out that he was not guilty. Some people, a lot of people don't even follow up with stuff like that, so they'll never find out that he wasn't guilty. But they might have saw that article accusing him, and that's all they know of him now.
Now, are you familiar with the story of Brian Banks?
No.
Brian Banks. Let me get his Wikipedia.
He's somebody who lied?
No, Brian did not lie.
Oh.
Brian was lied on. Brian was a football player. He signed with the Atlanta Falcons in 2013.
Yeah.
And, prior to him being able to secure a deal with the Falcons, this is what happened. In 2002, when he was still, I believe, in high school, he was falsely accused by one of his classmates that he raped her. Black man. He's black, of course.
And who accused him? A white woman, I'm assuming.
That I don't remember. But basically, long story short, he did 6 years.
Dang.
False accusation. And he was committed to USC for football. Lost that.
UFC?
USC.
US.
University of South.
Okay, yeah.
Southern California.
Whoa, I knew that.
If you're not familiar with USC is a very prominent college football, or just sports in general. D1, of course.
That is so sad.
He did 6 years and 5 years on parole. So basically 11 years of some sort of
like
slavery over a false accusation. And then
wow.
Why his parole didn't continue is because it was overturned, because it came out that it was a lie.
What was the parole time? Like life?
I'm not sure what the parole would have been, but his conviction was overturned when his accuser confessed that she had fabricated the entire story.
Wow.
Yeah.
For what?
You know, luckily he was able to at least get his shot still in the NFL once it was overturned.
Yeah, but come on.
But, you know,
You
he lost
missed
his
6
prime years.
Yeah.
And he's no longer with the Falcons. It was
So
short.
so he did play with Falcons
For like four games or something, 3 games or something like that. So
that sucks. And it's like the you know, you're out there and you're like still kind of happy that you're there, but it's like you can never not think about what could have been.
And the thing is, yeah, that's the thing. Like once an athlete's life is so sensitive.
Yeah,
because
like those early years
are prime. What we're seeing LeBron do is out of control at his age, and Tom Brady at over 40, what he was able to do.
He's back.
Oh,
he reversed. As of today, he reversed the retirement. Every tweet that I saw, it got like 100,000 likes in 1 hour. Yep, he's back. He's so annoying. I'm like, how do you unretire?
Because that's a way to get out of the contract with the team that you're with. Because Gronk did the same thing when he didn't want to go to the Dolphins, I think.
So you don't think he's going to play with the Bucks anymore?
No. I think he's going to probably go somewhere else.
It's funny, too, because some of the comments were like, oh, we need new meat on the Bucks. I mean, first of all, say new meat. That's weird. That's weird. Like, fresh, you know how people say fresh meat. I'm like, okay. But it was like, yeah, now that I think about that, I was like, wow. He might not be back on the Bucks. It was like, relax.
He got the chip. Yeah. That was good enough for him. He want to go somewhere else. And
now he's chilling. He's been,
Gronk is going to retire and go follow him.
Yeah.
But
yep, he's unretired. So.
But basically, back to bring it back, I feel like you took away everything from that person because you can never get it back. You can't get back.
That's what I feel about like that Central Park 5. Like she eventually things came out and that the kids weren't didn't do it. It's like, but now what? Like that's why people were mad about how I think the accuser or the girl who was raped, I think she wrote a book. Or something. Crazy. She made money. Somebody made money off of like, I think it was her, and people were saying like, "Wow, like you made out." I mean, obviously you went through something traumatizing, but it's like it was something people said that now that it was that it came out that all that should have been reversed. Something I forgot what it is, but that like you think about that story, like okay, yeah, Netflix came out, they all got paid, they're all good now. You can never get back those years of your childhood and your teens.
Yeah. And who knows what happened to him in jail? Like now it's...
No, yeah, you didn't watch it, right? When They See Us?
No, I'm familiar with that story.
No, did you watch it though? Because it kind of went into detail about what happened. Like the one guy got it bad.
Well, I saw
the oldest one. I don't think he wasn't even really in the park. He was just waiting to pick up his friend or something.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the story, but I didn't watch the doc,
the recreation.
Yeah. But I'm familiar.
Yeah, he went through like bad because he was in an adult prison.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just to tie it back basically to the accusation thing. I feel like there needs to be more, right? Because let's take his situation specifically. I know there's no way to specifically quantify how much money he lost, but say he got to the NFL and he became the greatest potential for the greatest running back of all time, and he lost like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, what is the damage that? Like, there needs to be something.
Yeah, because that's what there is a thing for that.
And I think
there is a thing for that in like with jail time though, or like money. Like they do have. I had to look it up, but there is some type of like money of the. It's like something with potential. It's like potential income that you would earn that he can mark that down. Like I would potentially earn this in the NFL.
He was a kid, unfortunately, but
yeah.
Also,
so it's kind of hard to say. I don't know if that would stick.
For context for other people, I believe, and this was going off of his like information. This is not about the woman, but I believe she did 1 year. Wow. In jail for that.
It should be the same amount of time that he did, at least.
Yeah, right. Like, why is that not the? But that's my problem with the Jussie thing, because I think that they loop. I think the false accusation thing gets looped into the false police report thing, and I feel like it shouldn't be.
Yeah, because false police report is not as harmful. Like, it is harmful in a way because it's like, yeah, you wasted resources, police resources, you wasted police time. You put police in situations that could have been dangerous. They, potentially. Like, imagine now the police are in the area, they might have not even been in at night and something happens. So, yeah, it's like, there are some things that you did wrong, but you can't compare a false police report to being as damaging as a false accusation.
Yeah, it needs to at least be equal, and we got to do something about the ones that are clear because
there needs to be something because clearly they're still still going.
Of course, they're gonna never stop, and I think that like there needs to be because the justice system is not perfect and is not anywhere close to being perfect. But for things that are like, we know for sure it has to be something more severe, because they're going to argue that if they're put more severe penalties, that women are not going to want to come up and, say that they were raped because they're afraid.
Yeah, they could get proven wrong. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if there's no way to explicitly, like, this is 100% true, if there's any gray area, then I think that should keep you free from the extent of the penalties. If they're not
it's
able
like
to,
a proven,
like if they had DNA, like video camera footage, like that kind of stuff.
Text messages, like video recording.
But yeah, so.
And it just sucks because the rape thing is such like a.
It's the go-to.
It's usually a losing game sometimes for men, because you could easily be like, well, yeah, I consented, and yeah, I sent news, and yeah, I did that, but I still got raped. Like they could still argue that. In which times, that does happen, but it's like,
at least
how you send the news to somebody who just raped you.
Yeah, so at least in this situation, it was very clear.
Yeah, because that's like after the fact. Like if you said the news before, it's like, okay, yeah, of course, like that was before. You still might not have come through in that moment, despite sending news. But if it's after the fact, like you just snitched on yourself.
Yeah, prayers to Chris Brown. I don't know how he does it.
I feel bad for him, because it's like, I'm not saying domestic violence is a mistake, but it's like, dang, like something that happened when he was like 16 is still always kind of just following him to this day. And then, he just kind of always just had issues and these accusations and stuff. And it's just like, it doesn't help that Trey Songz gets those same accusations. And, they kind of like came up together. And they made a lot of songs together. But the Trey Songz stuff, I believe that
we're not gonna touch on that,
because the stories I hear about him, are. And that girl recently, like the basketball player, like what would she have to lie for? Like she don't need no attention from this. So, yeah.
Prayers to everyone involved, unless you falsely accuse somebody of rape.
Yeah.
But
I told you last episode how I feel about liars. Yuck.
All right, switching gears here. So, all the Barbs out there, hi, how are you?
I was just telling my family today about the Barbs attacking us in that video. Because we were talking about Beyonce. And my mom was saying, like, oh, don't put that out on the internet because the Beehive is going to come for you. And I was like, we had a conversation about who's worse, the Beehive or the Barbs. And I was like, the Barbs. Psychos. No, I'm a huge Nicki fan, but I'm a Barb, but I'm not like a stan.
Hello, Barbs.
Sorry.
It's your boy, Alex G.
I'm not talking about all Barbs. I'm talking about the ones that were in our comments.
Thank you.
Those are like...
Hello, Barb. Okay. Hello, Barbs. This is Alex G. How are you doing out there? So now we're going to discuss. Nicki came out with what would be the word?
The interview?
A striking interview with Joseph Budden. I don't know when the last time we got this kind of quality Nicki interview. I feel like she never does these.
The bad thing is too, like, low-key wasn't really paying attention that much. No, you wasn't really either. We were kind of talking. We were a little distracted.
I wasn't distracted. I literally,
you were listening?
I listened to everything.
I can admit I was a little distracted.
Well, I'll do the rundown for you.
And the reason why I was distracted is just because Joe's just like, we had a conversation. Joe kind of like distracts me, if that makes sense. Because he's dramatic.
Yeah, but I got the full rundown of everything that she discussed. So don't worry, I got my notes. Barbs, this one's for you. She said a lot of different things, a lot of things that I would agree. Like, yeah, we don't really hear many people talk about them outside of the outspoken Mr. Kanye West. But she gave a lot more insight, I think, into certain things about her entire career, which was good because I don't think we ever got these kind of discussions from her.
Yeah, I don't think we ever even got her like clearly stating about getting surgery.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever got any interview of her giving a clear answer, because she basically just admitted it finally. Yeah,
so that's actually what I was going to start with. Yeah. So she revealed basically that she feels like in the time and the people that she was around, so like Wayne and I think she said Jay Mills and Gutta from Young Money, around the time, when she was starting to come up, she said that she would only hear them talk about women that have certain features.
Yeah. And they would be in the studio sessions.
And that's all they talked about. So her perception of what men want and what they're looking for changed, and so she got butt shots. But
which is so crazy to me because we all know BBLs didn't get popularized till now. So that's literally how women were getting their bodies done. They were just getting shots.
Yeah.
And silicone and like injections and all that.
The super dangerous
and
stuff.
That's why like the busts now still look nasty and crazy, a lot of them. But that's why like in that era, a lot of them did look really stiff and weird looking because it was fake. It literally was fake. Like it wasn't fat transfer. I feel like a fat transfer would look so much better on her. And I feel like maybe she might have got that modified. Right?
Maybe. I don't want to speculate because, I hate that about the internet.
Her body just has changed over the years, in my opinion.
Yeah, people grow up.
you gain weight, you have babies.
Like,
yeah.
Those albums came out maybe close to almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like she got popped in 2009.
Bedrock was like 2009.
That's like 12 years ago.
Like that. Yeah, already. When I was on YouTube the other day, I was like, what does that say 12 years?
You could have raised a whole teenager.
Does that say 12 years? Like, I literally made me feel sick to my stomach.
But basically, she was saying that, like, I guess the climate of hip hop and how it kind of hasn't changed.
Yeah.
How they were making jokes or just, describing women in a certain way. And that's what led her to feel like she wasn't good enough. And she got shots by some random. So I don't know if there's much of a breakdown there, but.
Which is crazy because it didn't look that bad. Like at least her legs kind of matched, So for it to be random, I'm actually shocked. It didn't really look that bad. Like early in her career, it looked normal, natural. You could tell it was fake, but it didn't look crazy. Honestly, and barbers don't kill me, but the craziest time it looked to me was that time she won that award. Do you remember? And she was wearing like a white 2-piece set and had like a little skirt attachment.
No.
Let me find it real quick for you. That's when I was like, Nikki. And I don't know if she did anything else after that because that's the thing I can't tell. Is if she still kept getting surgery.
Also,
with the times.
I don't know if this is in my notes too, but I think it was also very, what would be the word? Very mature of her to accept her role in the popularity of that.
Yeah, because Joe did ask. He was like, do you think you had an impact on, like, especially with female rappers and artists? And she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think her impact was huge.
I think it was the only impact.
It was the impact, yeah, because rappers before, like Lauryn Hill was skinny.
In addition to, she also said that, and how I feel, and I don't know if you feel this way, but how she feels like women are the ones that perpetuate that more than the men do.
Yeah.
Which I agree with as well.
We always talked about that.
That men aren't like heat seeking. Like I
and
feel like
men don't like it as much as girls act like they do. Like most men literally will say BBLs look nasty. Like you see how everybody's going crazy over Zoe Kravitz right now. She's skinnier than me.
Yeah, it's because it's not natural.
Zendaya,
it's not normal.
Skinny. Like these guys care more about your face. They don't care about
and personality. Personality is more important than anything.
Like they don't care about the body. And like a lot of guys do. Like it's not a monolith. And not like all men feel the same, but a lot of men do like that. But it's like you should just love yourself. You'll find someone regardless. Like after a while, that gets old. Like what is your personality outside of your butt?
Yeah. Well, you could keep looking for that, but
it was this. It was the 2018 VMAs.
Oh, that one. I do remember that one.
I'm trying to find the specific video when she went on stage. I was just like, ooh, I was kind of scared.
I'll go to the next one. Because we might be on this for a while.
Okay, yeah. You keep going while I look for the video.
Queen Radio was returning, but she confirmed that it would be hosted on Amazon's app called AMP. I'm not familiar with that.
It's new.
It's very interesting that, and I'm not going to stay on business much longer, but it's interesting how Apple has literally lost so many different things. They lost.
I know, because like you had Queen Radio.
They had podcasts.
Like, you had Queen Radio. What happened?
Because everybody wants to go to Apple because it was Apple.
Yeah.
They lost.
Their podcasts are not popular, right? Most people go to Spotify.
Yeah. They're not even really.
Like even on our downloads are mostly Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify dominates. The reason why the Kanye and Drake thing wasn't on Apple.
Yeah.
It was on Amazon.
That was Amazon. Which was crazy.
What else have they lost? They lost a lot of things. But Versus. They had Versus at one point.
And it makes me wonder if somebody's behind the scenes, if they're just nasty, like with their deals. They must not be paying. Like Amazon's paying, clearly. And Amazon's coming for the throne.
Apple's just weird.
I'm happy. Let Apple come for Amazon come for the throne.
No, we need somebody else. Because Amazon is, lesser of two evils. We need somebody else.
True.
God, there's so many things in my notes, y'all. We're gonna be doing this for like 50 minutes. This will be clipped, so if you're watching the clip, continue to watch. If you're not watching the clip and you don't want to hear this Nicki take, you're gonna have to skip like 50 minutes because
you're clipping all the takes.
No, not each take. I mean, like,
okay.
Like if people are watching it from the normal one,
yeah,
you might as well just skip ahead because we're gonna be on this for a while. Next thing is rappers are still vilified. Basically, she was stating how like when you think about other artists, you don't view them in the same way, even though they might engage in the same activities. Like there's a lot of talks of like rape and drug use and abuse and rock and country and all these other, avenues of music. And they're never vilified, but rappers always are. Like, and she brought up Eric Adams in New York about to trying to ban.
That's so weird. I was sucking my pants about that today too, because we were talking about who's the Newark mayor?
Eric Adams.
No, the Newark.
Oh, Newark.
Ra.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about him because Amir lives in Newark, so we were talking about him. And I was talking about Eric Adams. My dad was like, "Oh, yeah, the black people like him." I'm like, "Not really. They don't." I'm like, "You've been
not anymore.
Not anymore.
We like the removal of the vax mandates, but we don't care about nothing else.
And we like having a black person in the office, but just because you black don't mean you doing your job right.
Banning drill music is crazy.
Yeah.
Because drill music ain't the problem. It's not the music that's the problem. It's people rapping about their situations.
Yeah.
Why are they in those situations? That's what you need to be focused on. People be so like paying attention to the. Don't let me get my political bag, y'all. Barbs, y'all still with me? All right, boom.
Find this video.
Yeah, we talked about She's the Blueprint. Just her whole looks, the idea of a female rapper and woman rapper, if you don't like the word female. And just women in general, like the hair lengths, the body shapes, the clothing.
Yeah.
She was the pioneer for a lot of that kind of stuff and taking a lot of risks.
The video made it look a lot worse, but this was. You know when she looked the best to me? You keep going, but she looked the best to me in 2014. Her body.
Yeah, the colorful wigs, basically all the things that the girls do now. I feel like she was the one that wasn't afraid to do so. I know other women did that. Yeah, come on.
Like I don't know why she.
The jet black hair.
And it was her real hair too. Don't know what she did. Why she had to go crazy after this.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Nikki, what'd you do this to yourself? Like this was like, I feel like she looked the best then.
For sure.
The barbs don't kill me. She always looks good, but that's when she looked the best.
Yeah. She talked about pregnancy writer's block. Not much of a deep dive there, but she was just saying how, it's been tough to write while she was pregnant.
And I thought that was something, I was like, why am I learning all these new things about pregnancy? But I remember she explained that it wasn't really the pregnancy itself that made her have writer's block. It was her thinking about everything else. Mm-hmm. Like, your mind is just filled with, I gotta prepare for this baby. You're not thinking about writing a rap.
Yeah, and that's more important than anything that you're about to do.
Like, I already told you, I'm such an overthinker. I'm so scared. I don't even want to say I'm scared. I'm scared for how I'm gonna be. Because I feel like I'm going to be just like Nikki, like Googling everything, going to YouTube, watching every video, every little thing I feel, oh, is this normal? Is this normal? Like, that's how she said she was dealing with it. I feel like I'm going to be exactly the same.
We also got to find out what people she was specifically watching.
I know. I was about to say.
I was waiting for her to say something.
When she said that, I was thinking, I'm like, wow,
imagine that shout out.
There's people out there who literally don't even know Nikki was watching their videos. Like, that's literally what I was thinking of. I'm like, that's the crazy thing about the internet. You don't know who's watching. You know how many celebrities could have came across our stuff and we never know. Obviously, they did because they reached out to you. Yeah. Like some of them, so it's like you don't know who's watching.
Nikki, if you're watching this, Barbs, go tell her to go tag her.
Celebrities be googling themselves. They be typing their name in on Twitter. You could tell because they be liking tweets that got like 3 likes and it just got their names in it. It's like, how'd you find that tweet?
This one was important. She said her predecessors deserve better. And for those of you that don't know, basically, I'm gonna get in my hip hop rap nerd bag for a second. The foundations of everything that we have in music today is based off of everything that. Groups like Kool and the Gang and, in the Bronx, like all these different DJs and rappers and people like Run DMC and LL Cool J, all like the originators of this rap stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm going to miss a lot of people, unfortunately.
It's crazy because there's a lot of DJs that
still to this day, they're still working.
That created it, part of the creation of hip hop.
All of them, even though it sounds drastically different from what we have today, all like the whole concepts of it came from these people. The difference is those people built the foundations, but they don't reap the benefits that artists get today. So
a lot of them go broke.
They're not getting $1 million for a show, even though they have more. Even if they have more influence than you would even know, or they're responsible for literally making the genre what it is.
And that's why that's the hard part about being an artist or just being anybody that contributes creativity or art to this world. You don't know what, like, your impact can't honestly be 100% traceable. Like, imagine if you could financially like put a dollar price to your impact and actually visually see, like, imagine you could actually trace every ounce or every little speck of your impact and then put a dollar onto it. Probably millions, billions.
Like, really? let's look at this
at this point.
Now,
like, what's that? Sorry to interrupt, but what's that one group that, like, they are like, is this the Isley? Not the Isley Brothers. Is it them? It's like a specific.
Well, the Isley Brothers definitely getting paid.
I think it's them. Like, it's like the most sampled. Yeah, it's them, right?
Yeah, but they're getting paid now.
Okay, they're getting paid, but it's like, but just think about that though. Like, that's one like group that to this day still is a constant theme in hip hop. So imagine the stuff we don't see, the impacts that we don't actually see, that we can't really trace directly. Cause there's stuff in music that you can't really say how did, I mean, you kind of can, but there's some stuff you can't really be like, now, where did this come from? Like, usually you kind of can, but sometimes you can't. Like, sometimes stuff gets lost in translation.
Yeah, I think it's an important theme in hip hop and athletes as well. Like, we take people like Wilt Chamberlain that was so successful at his sport, which is basketball, that they had to literally change the rules. Yeah. Like, the reason why Steph Curry can hit as many threes as he does is because they had to invent the 3-point line to stop him. So in his terms of his contracts, he's not getting $200 million. He didn't get $200 million contracts when he was playing. But
and
now
all the different sponsorship stuff gets, and he became famous off those 3-pointers.
And it's not no disrespect to Steph, but it's just saying, like, the progression of the art and sports, people in the past don't get to benefit. Like,
and it's kind of sad because, like, as that person in the past, do you just accept that? Do you just be like, all right, this is just what it is, or do you feel like there needs to be a change? Because, like, what can you really give them though? At this point, it's like, you give them back pay.
No, I don't think you could do any, but I mean, there's a discussion to be had, and I'll get to it in a second. But, like, Michael Jordan in 16 years of playing basketball totaled $93,772,500, which is a lot of money, right? Now let's look at Steph Curry's
and that's how
contract.
Many years?
That's 16 years.
And that's all he made over the course of 16 in basketball.
Yes.
I mean, inflation though, you had to account for inflation. What's $93 million worth today?
Jordan stopped playing in 2001.
Yeah.
So it's not even.
But 2001.
Obviously different. It's like 3%.
Still.
For inflation is typically around 3%.
But that would be a complicated calculation because you would have to calculate the inflation over the years that he played also, in relation to today.
That wouldn't be complicated. We could do it.
Well, yeah, you had to do a year-to-year comparison. Yeah, you had to compare it, like, Steph Curry's year one to Michael Jordan's year one and what the inflation is since then. Yeah, it's not complicated. It would take a minute, but.
Steph Curry so far in 13 seasons has made $254. He is guaranteed by the year 2026 to have made $470. And Michael Jordan,
$500 million.
And Michael Jordan's only made $190.
Yeah, but
not that there's anything wrong with that.
What's 455 to 190? Like, what's the
470 to 280 million.
So what's the percent of inflation though?
To like 3%. It doesn't equal. It's not equal. And the sport got bigger, but and Michael Jordan
got more popular.
There's a lot of factors, but
more people are on this planet now, so more people are paying to go to games. Stadiums are getting bigger.
Endorsements, all that type of stuff. It makes sense, but take somebody that was fundamental to the game. That's not Michael Jordan, because I just use him as an example as that, like, one of the best players ever compared to today. I could take a random player that was good in the 90s and went broke. Like, not everybody made the $200 million, but they still had an impact on the game.
Yeah.
So long story short, to bring it back to Nicki and hip hop, Swiss Beats brought up this conversation before, saying that there needs to be basically a pension fund for the OGs, that artists should put their money into a fund to help pay back the people that paved the way. That
actually is a good point. And that's why it's like, I do feel like I get why in the media, not the media, but like the entertainment world, how there is no 401k. Like, we get set up, but I get that. But like he just said, like, that should be on other artists, on their conscience and on their, their response. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, I don't have to pay you no money. Like why do I gotta do that? But it's like, nah, you should want to though. Because if you guys all get together, you don't even have to contribute a lot, and they'll get mad money.
Yeah. And it's respect, like, and, we can move off of this one because we kind of killed that one. But the way I feel is that in terms of music, for those of you that don't know, if you're new here, most likely you are. I make beats, and I make what I want to hear, and what I want to hear is what other people make. Mm-hmm. So if I'm making an R&B beat, whether I'm actively thinking about it or not, I'm tapping into every R&B song I've ever heard, every R&B producer I've ever heard, and it's flowing out into me on the keyboard or like in the FL.
Because it comes from somewhere.
Yeah, like I'm not even create this.
If you come up with a beat pattern, it's something that's like, it might be a mixture of stuff you heard over the year, but it's something. Like, you don't just come up with off the blue. I mean, some people do come up with new sounds out of the blue, and that's why they're considered innovators, like Kanye. But,
right.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely the people that innovate.
But even with Kanye, there's influence and there's impact sampled behind it. Yeah, and he said so himself. Like, people taught him how to make beats. Yeah. So that's,
So for me personally, I believe in that. Like, if I take, because there's been times I made a beat I made a beat today, stupid hard, but it's reminiscent of another beat that I've heard before.
You
like,
might never even realize.
No, I realized it. I was like, he did that,
yeah,
and I'm able to do the exact same thing. So, because it was just flowing, I heard a sample. I was like, nah, it needs to sound like this, and it's hard. But what I would do, and I don't know, I mean, it wouldn't be good for my personal business and me making money, but I'm gonna give some kickback to the person that inspired me. That, like, I literally made this because I heard this.
And that's why it's crazy to me that wouldn't even be on people's conscience.
It's like a respect tax.
Stuff could be going on behind the scenes that we would never know. Like, that could be happening. But you would just think it would just be like such a norm. Like, even if, like, imagine you make it big, right? And you like make all this money. Like, even if you were like, hey, this is random, but here's like 20 million. Okay, maybe that's a lot.
I mean, if you're making that much.
Yeah, if you make, no, I'm talking about like someone like Kanye. Like, he's billionaire status, so like that's nothing to him. But like, maybe even if you say like 5. Like, here's 5.
Or even if it's 100,
or even if it's a million.
If it's anything.
Yeah, even honestly. If it's
because you don't have to.
Yeah, because you don't have to. So yeah, even if it's a million, like, all right, I'll just give him $1 million or 100,000, like you said. 20 is maybe I'm behind a bucket.
one of my favorite beats, and then again we could go to the next one. But one of my favorite beats that I ever personally made, the sample was found from my brother. He didn't have anything to do with the beat. Like, I made the whole beat, but he found the sample, and it's one of my favorite beats I ever made. I put that thing on a loop.
Yeah. It's like,
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't deserve. Well, he does, but I'm saying, like, in terms of the creation of the song itself, he didn't have any influence or impact on that. But because he found something, I feel like he's owed something for that. Like, if somebody gave me input about something, and it helped the product at the end of the day, I'm giving you money, even if it's not like I'm gonna write you as a songwriter on the song. I might just give you a kickback, or like I'll add you. I might be able to add you as royalties, or I might just give you a one-time. Here you go, like, go buy yourself something nice. But I like it. I like the idea, and
I like the Penton idea of all, like, celebrities, like, being like, let's put all our money together for all the hip hop legends that came before us to make sure they're always good.
Yeah,
a lot of them are still good, clearly, royalties, but a lot of them are, and they had bad deals back then.
Horrible deals. So, still in those deals, some of them.
Like, that's what the whole Eazy-E, like, Straight Outta Compton documentary, I was like, dang, like, that was really crazy. Like, that deal was nasty that horrible. They were in. You watch that movie? I
actually did not.
Really? We gotta watch it.
Judge me. We watched
that in theaters. With who did I watch that with? It was either friends or family. I feel like it was friends.
I watched the first scene, which is a weird thing to watch, but I only watched the first scene.
It. But I'm sure we have it on one of our millions of streamings.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the story, but I'll definitely watch it because I know it was good.
Yeah.
But next thing, she has a doc and a film.
She hates when people ask her about the doc because the doc's been in the works for like years now.
Yeah. So hopefully,
it kind of scared me though how abrupt she was with it though, right? Like, oh, don't talk to me about it. I think she just knows that they keep asking, so maybe she's just annoyed. But I'm like, dang, what if it's not coming out? And that's why she's saying that.
No, it's probably coming out, but it's like the second you say, oh, I'm hoping for 2023, and then it doesn't come out, then people are like raging.
And she probably wants it to be perfect. Like, this is your documentary. Like,
And it's probably a long one. Last one we got was
long time ago.
It was like that one, right, where she was writing like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like Pink Friday time, maybe.
Yeah. That documentary was like 20.
Wasn't it Moment for Life? Wasn't it called Moment for Life?
I think so, yeah.
Barbs, I'm here with you.
I think that was long.
I remember
that was
watching
like,
that one.
Was that before college?
Yeah.
No, or was that like right in the beginning, like 2014?
That had to have been before. That had to have been before.
I think it was right before in the summer.
I didn't know you at that point.
Yeah.
When I was in my real bar bag.
Yeah, 'cause I was watching that at home. That was 2014.
For sure.
Let's see.
Hopefully they both come out. She said the film is going to be the largest role she's been in, because she's been in, big screen movies before, but interested to see her getting her acting back, and good for her for expanding. She's also going to be creating a record company and a management company. Nikki, if you're listening to this, sign me. I got banger beats I made just for you. That's good. Like, I think she's getting more into her. This is what I feel like was gonna happen. Like
what she should have been did, though, right?
Yeah, I feel like now's a good time.
Well, now's a good time.
Yeah, now's like the perfect time. You got the kid, you're gonna have less time.
Yeah.
And now it's more about expanding the brand and like, pulling in artists. Because one thing about her is that she always supports the newest person. Like, it's crazy how you could literally be unknown and then you get a Nicki feature. Like, she's done that so much.
Same thing with Drake.
But now, she could really, really profit off of it by signing these people and get that residual kickback, and really make some money off her name, and hopefully some real cool stuff comes out of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited about that. Nikki, it's your boy Alex G. Make sure you check your DMs.
Wait, does it say 2010?
We just got a few more things.
This did not come out 2010.
Yeah, that thing is old. Like, it was really old. Because that was like, yeah.
2010, though. I thought it was like 2000.
Yeah, I don't know what you was on. 2014 was like, no flex on it.
That just doesn't seem like, don't know.
Yeah. That seems right, because think about
that just seems so early. Like, that seems
think about
so
how early 2014 was, though. I mean, like, how recent that, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Think about the songs that were out. Like, No Flex Zone and all that was when? 2016?
2014.
14?
That just came out.
Yeah,
sometimes I don't realize that, because I'm like, when we were like, when we first met, like, for that in my mind doesn't seem that long ago, but we got so much music from her, and like,
it was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, that is. And we was on like the third album at that point, second album.
She said Queen wasn't quite ready
when she dropped it.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree with that. There wasn't really much of like a promotional thing, and she was going through her media thing.
Yeah,
media hate train.
But I wonder what she means by that. Does she mean for the promo, or does she feel like the songs? She didn't like the songs.
She said that she dropped the album to make it qualify for some of like the award shows, so she could like possibly perform.
So you think the songs weren't fully ready too?
I think the songs were ready, but maybe not like the whole album. Because like maybe she made a song and it's like, wait, we could take that song out. Like, probably that's what she meant. And then if there's no backing behind, like, as crazy as it is,
there's no promo run.
Literally, as crazy as it is, like, even if the same song exists, if it gets no promotion versus getting promoted, like, people will like it less if it's not promoted. As wild as that is.
Because sometimes humans need that repetition.
Yeah. And then they need to feel like other people are listening to it, so it's okay for them to listen to it.
Yeah. And honestly, this might be like a bad, I mean, the people might not like this opinion, but I like kind of rank Queen at like the bottom of my Nicki discography.
Okay.
I would have to re-listen to it, but I don't know. I feel like something was off about it, and maybe that's why.
Okay.
Nicki, the Barbs kill her.
Barbs don't kill her, but
still a really good album, but it's just I never go. I don't think I really ever go back to it. Chun-Li was like the only thing that like kind of really blew up from that album too.
Two more things, right? So she brought up, we talked about this last time, but the idea of chart manipulation through selling bundles and stuff like that. Even though Nicki has sold bundles in the past, maybe she was just doing that to be competitive with others. Yeah. Who knows?
I'm feeling like she had to.
She did do that, for those of you guys that don't know. But she just talked about how like she doesn't want she wants to address that and like have more clearly defined rules. Because her fans go so hard for her, and she doesn't want them to feel bad if she's competing against people that are doing certain tactics.
Yeah, because Nicki, like her, like not even like the diehard fans. This is like even just us all of us general fans. I mean, I don't really do it, but it's kind of like the really diehard fans. They like go crazy with the streaming parties. Like they literally would stream the songs like nonstop, like, and they come together and make sure they're all streaming together. Like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the song played 1,000 times today." I'm like, Jesus Christ, did you turn your phone off? They'll just loop the album. Even if the phone's on silent, they'll turn it down. Like fans really do go hard. Even like the other day, I saw like they showed all Kanye's albums, and the only one that's not platinum is I think Jesus is King. And his fans were like, "Well, let's run it up." Like I'm like, Jesus, like people's fans really go crazy. Like they really will want their person to do well.
I also heard, if there are any Nicki fans that are running the Nicki streaming farm, I also heard a while ago that if an album or a song is played too much in repetition, that they don't count it after a certain point.
They know.
Because I think they're trying to account for like, oh, this person might be asleep, so they're not actually listening to the song or something like that.
So crazy.
Because I heard people.
It's kind of the same thing with YouTube videos. How you can't watch your own YouTube video multiple times.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't count as a view.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm not sure. We can't confirm because they be keeping the algorithm
It
secret.
makes sense though, because if they got it down on YouTube, I'm sure they got it down with the streaming services somehow.
Yeah. So.
That's wild.
Nicki's good for speaking up about changes in the way we count. The whole streaming thing. She was responsible for. So I'm sure we'll see a change with the chart manipulation. That there needs to be very specific rules like around how much is a stream worth.
They should just categorize it. I don't understand that. They like things should just be categorized, right? Like, okay, this is strictly merch or whatever. This is that. As far as like music, I think it should be categorized. It like streams. Have a separate category for strictly streams. Have a category for strictly like actual hard copies.
They do. Okay. They do that, but not for merch. They don't have the merch section. But if you go to,
there should be.
It's called album equivalents. So it'll be they sold X amount and then they sold an additional.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with the album equivalents. It's either you sold the album physically or you didn't.
It's streaming. That's what streaming is called. Album, like the equivalent of an album sale is how much it streamed.
I don't agree with that though. I just feel like there needs to be a whole separate category for streaming. It shouldn't even be unless someone brought the album off their phone. Like how then
nobody's gonna count the physicals then because nobody cares. Because nobody does any numbers on physicals.
Well, it could still be a rank though within the physicals. Like like how much are your fans really riding for you? How many people are still buying physical copies?
Yeah, they count that though.
Yeah, but that should just be its own category. Like physical sales category, streams category. But I get I don't know.
They do that. They say total and then they break it down. This is how many streams.
I just feel like when you get to all these like equivalents and what's this, what's that, that's when it just gets too messy. And it's like it just be so much easier if there was just no equivalents and no what a T-shirt and a this equals this album. Like no, like
the importance of
shirt. It's not a song. It's not the album.
The importance of that, and she's the one that advocated for it, is that when they weren't doing the album equivalents, nobody was getting paid off of streams. Like literally, there was no concept of getting paid on streams because nobody was buying the albums. Yeah. So you didn't get paid at all from Spotify. So really just
Apple was making the money.
Yeah. Or Spotify or whoever.
Yeah. How does Spotify get paid? Ads?
Ads. Everything, the way everybody gets paid is subscriptions and ads.
Yeah. Apple has no ads. But they have, can you subscribe?
And also the labels are the biggest owners of Spotify stock. So they have a hand in all of this.
Yeah.
The labels are actually what created Spotify. So Sony, UMG, they all own Spotify. And then I think Spotify tried to push them out by buying back their stock and, whole complicated business thing. But last thing she said, basically she was saying with trends and stuff, everybody tries to chase a sound. And if you jump on every trend, you become faceless and, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
No, not much of a breakdown there. Just don't jump on every trend.
Yeah, because I feel like there are a lot of people that try to make it, and they would just do whatever like that typical sound is, and it's just like especially with female rap. It's like that same high pitched squeaky voice with the same flow and the same like beat, like a slow beat. It's just like do something different. you know. And guys do it too, because guys will all, if you go on SoundCloud and just like swipe through, you'll see 50 million Trippie Reds. It's like, if I hear you, or Cardi. That's what even like, you know, I like, what's his name? Coach Ice. But sometimes he does give me like Cardi vibes, you know?
Coaches.
And it's like, his voice is unique. Like I know who, when I hear it, I know it's him. But it's still kind of like, you could tell that Cardi influence, that Trippie Redd influence is heavy, you know? I don't know.
Coaches, I have a pack of beats for you. That was a take by Malika.
No, I like him. You know, I was listening to that what's that song called?
See, yeah. How much of a fan you are?
I'm not a fan of him. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I like that
She's a fan.
Tell Him song. You know, on TikTok, I make a TikTok to every version of that song. I'm on it.
But yeah, to wrap up the Nicki conversation, I think it was a great interview. She brought up a lot of points. Oh, you know what? God of transitioning. Hold up. She brought up a lot of great points, right? Mm-hmm. She discussed a lot of things that other people don't discuss, like she said she was going to an interview. Mm-hmm. One of the things that she did discuss was Kanye West. Now, how do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about...
We could talk about it real quick, and then transition, because you know how I feel.
Come on, God of transitions. How you feel about...
I feel about Kimberly.
Yeah.
Kimberly...
Do you want to talk
about Ultra West?
Do you want to talk about this from
we can talk about
a Nicki from a Nicki standpoint? Do you want to talk about it from a Kim standpoint?
We can talk about what Nicki said and then segue that into Kanye and Kim's marriage.
Go for it.
So, Nicki, she said that she approached Kanye with a proposition for a female. You know what? Oh my God, that would have been fire. The female Yeezy. So remember how she said, "I'm the female Weezy" in her song. Remember how she said that? I am the female Weezy. This S is easy. You know, remember that song? That could have been her campaign.
Wait, how'd it go?
I'm not singing it again. That could have been her campaign, right? Like the female Yeezy. Oh my God.
That would have been the worst campaign ever.
That would have been hard. And then they should have dropped New Body. Oh my God. That would have been a crazy campaign. Anyway, she approached him with the proposition for a collab on Yeezys. And he was like, nah, like, if I were to do something like that, like I would hold that for Kim. And it sucks because kind of what she said is like Black women are never really get those opportunities. And, Kanye himself did struggle with getting accepted into the fashion world. And like now you can help out somebody who literally like you have history with. Like Monster is going to be an iconic song for history. Like that's going to be a song forever that people go back to. It's like you help Nicki, in her career in that way. And it's like, why not continue to help where you can? But it's like Nicki was conflicted because she was, she's married herself, so she understands that. Like, oh, I can't take that away from your wife. Like, she's got skin. She's known now for her fashion after Kanye put her on and got her respected in the fashion world. So she understood. But then that's where my gripe comes in, because it's like, oh, look at Kanye looking out for his ex-wife at the time, like his wife at the time. And look how she's doing him dirty now. And it's like, dang, like, I don't know. It's so hard because we don't know Kim on a personal level. She could be cool, but dang.
Yeah. I was just thinking it would have been high-key fire to see Nicki standing in one of those Yeezy shows.
Yeah.
Like he used to do. He needs to bring those back.
And then do her take on the shoes. The only thing is, I wonder how Kanye would have felt about that. You know how he has a specific look for his shoes and his company? I feel like if it would have been a collab, Kim, I'm not Kim, I keep saying Kim, Nicki would have had some pink Yeezys. And it's like, Kanye might not really want that for his brand. Like, he's all about the earth tones, or like, he has colors too, because he has like the ones that just came out with the blue stripe. It's like.
She didn't specify what the request was, right? Like, was she asking for.
I think it was going to be a sneaker collab. It was going to be like whatever, like Nicki times Yeezy. Nicki X Yeezy.
Do you know what that would have done to the streets?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it would have been a good thing, because there's such like a stigma, not even a stigma, but an image around sneakers. And like when you think sneakers, you don't think Nicki. Honestly, you don't. That's what I'm saying. Nicki. I think we talked about this before. Like Nicki might have been better with a hair brand, makeup, sneakers, and I don't know.
Yeah, but if it's a Yeezy, then
if it was a Yeezy,
I don't think
her fans would have went crazy.
No, but that's what I was saying. I don't even think that she would have done a pink shoe either. Like,
it might not have been pink, honestly.
Because people do that. Like,
but she's known for pink, so I could see it being like the 350 with the pink stripe or something.
I'm rolling.
Yeah. I mean, it's still. I don't think it would taint his brand or his brand image. It would just be that one sneaker or a few.
Yeah. It would have set the streets ablaze.
No, it would have been a mess. And the crazy thing is, the hypebees would have brought them just to wear them. And then the resellers would have brought them just to know, because they know the barbers would pay. And those shoes would probably be worth like over $1,000.
I would have definitely bought a pair. Depending on the pink.
It might not, like I said, it might not even been pink. Like, she probably would have did a pink for sure, because that's her thing. But she would have probably had other colorways.
Let me see if somebody has a mock-up somewhere.
It probably, it probably would have been a trio, right? Like how Kanye did that Black Friday drop in what was that, 2016? 2017, probably would have been like a trio.
Yeah.
Was that Black Friday?
Yeah, it was the Black Friday drop. I don't think it would have looked bad. Like,
traumatizing time.
Like, that doesn't look bad to me.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
That look. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that was good.
We're not buying it off this website though. Apparently they got them, y'all. If y'all want the Nicki Minaj 350s,
with the pink stripes, they.
Low key, I missed the 350s. Not gonna lie.
Really? You don't have any 350s? You don't have any Yeezys at all?
No, I don't.
I told you I might buy the blue ones that just came out. What are they called? Blue something.
Low key only because of comfort level though.
They are comfortable. That's why when I wore them to those tan ones to the airport, I was like, I see why these are people's airport shoes.
The Ultra Boost though were probably the most comfortable shoe of all time.
I never tried them.
Nah, them things is different.
Were they similar to the NMDs material wise?
Mm-hmm.
Because NMDs were comfortable, but now my NMDs are so worn out. I just wear them to the gym. I'm like, I need new gym sneakers because they're so worn out. I had those since 2016.
They're pretty much the same except the Ultra Boosts are lighter.
Oh, okay.
Like the NMDs have more
weight, especially in the heel.
Yeah. Nah, Ultra Boost is fire, but
yeah, that collab would have been iconic. Nicki definitely would have sold out. The resale would be definitely sickening. How you say sick? I always have sickening.
Kim Kardashian.
Sickeningly high. But yeah, it's a shame. I kind of feel like Kim really. And see, now I'm about to be a hypocrite because I've always defended the Kardashians for years, and I even defended. What? No, but I never even defended them like crazy. But I would just simply be like, if you guys hate them so much, why do you guys keep talking about them? Like that. It wasn't even me defending them. It was more me calling out stupidity. I'm like, every time the Kardashians do something, you guys flinch, and it's funny because they know the reaction is gonna be. They know it. Even with this recent incident, they know what the reaction is gonna be, and people fall for it every time. And it's like hilarious. Like that. After that interview came out, I showed you my timeline. I was like, dang, I'm like, you guys hate these people so much. Why do you keep giving them the attention? So I never really defended them. I just more so was calling people out. Like, if you guys hate them so much, why do you keep talking about them? Like, it's giving obsessions, giving weird.
I think
and people admitted that. Some fans, not fans, but some people were like, yeah, we kind of do have to stop giving them the energy they want. It's like, yeah, exactly. You guys sound like crazy.
I do agree. I think with certain things that they do, it has to be addressed only because of the influence that they have.
Yeah, like when they were wearing the braids and it was like, oh, stop, like, it's just braids, stop calling them. I was like, no, you kind of have to call them out because it's like, get those braids out of your head. You're white.
Or even the most recent comments, and let's hit that transition.
Yeah, we could start there.
Air horn, boom, 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 boom.
Let me open my phone up here. I wrote notes.
Here we go. I'm gonna let you cook. Let me get some water.
We could start there. Let's see. So yeah, that's actually the first thing I wrote down. Kim Kardashian, Variety magazine. Is it a magazine?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's funny because I was just talking about how I don't defend the Kardashians, and this is not even me defending them.
I got my Yeezy.
Like I said, trust me, now more than ever, it's smoke. When I see Kim, it's smoke. If I ever see Kim, it's smoke. I would literally probably give her a look of disgust if I seen her in person. Just because I'm a Kanye fan. And I'd be
she would look at you like brokey.
Yeah, she would. And I'd be like, yeah, I am broke. Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm broke to your standards, but at least I'm out here living, and I got a real body, and don't look like a freaking ant.
We're not doing that on this podcast.
Oh, we're not surgery shaming?
We're not.
I'm surgery shaming.
We're not talking negatively about anybody.
I'm surgery shaming. This could actually be a topic. I saw a YouTube video about it, how there was like a whole conversation about people accusing Ruby of getting her body done. Like that blew up and her tweet ended up in the shade room.
We could talk about this after.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that.
If we have time, because it's getting late.
Oh yeah, it's getting late. Let me write that down then just in case we decide to talk about it.
I won't forget it. Just get into it.
So yeah, like I said, it's smoke for Kim, especially with the kind of situation. So this is not even me defending her. I'm not defending Kim. I'm going to put that out there. But everybody knows the world was in shambles for the last 2 days, or 3 days at this point, because Kim said, "Get your A word." I always try to be like mindful about cursing, even though sometimes I do. But gotta watch it. Get up, get to work. Like, people don't actually want to work these days. People are lazy, right? Outrage. Like, you kind of haven't really been, you're not really on social media like that, but I showed you my timeline. Outrage. Tweet after tweet after tweet. Somebody like said their story about how they worked for Kim and all this other stuff. Tweet after tweet after tweet, right? People telling their stories, people saying she's tone deaf, people saying all this stuff, right?
Hold up, let me jump in.
Yeah.
Disparaging your past employers is not always a good look.
It's not, because now people are not going to want to hire you
in the future.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're like, well, if something happens, she's going to blast us online.
Keep going. That doesn't mean don't highlight negative things if they do something crazy, but just keep that in mind, people. Go ahead.
See, there was all this anger, and I was like, okay. These quotes were coming out. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is kind of wild, tone deaf. People do have good points, right? So let me start with saying, I went back. I'm like, right, let me go actually see the interview. Because that's the one thing people don't do, right? So information spreads around the internet, and no one actually goes back to watch the interview. No one ever goes back to read the article. They just they react off of quotes, And that's one thing that people are so flawed in this world. It's like, people will retweet stuff, people would spread misinformation, and nobody does research, nobody fact checks anything. So I feel like the majority of people did not go back and actually watch the interview. They just took what she was saying and spreading like wildfire. Everybody's having their think pieces about Kim would never survive a double shift at Waffle House. I work hard every day, right? So I was like, let me go back and actually see what she said. And this is where I got confused. Kim literally started her sentence with, if I had to give my advice to women in business.
Hold it right there.
Woman in business.
Hold it right there. I didn't watch it. I'm never watching Kardashian content.
Well, I showed you the clip.
But who asked her?
The interview related. I didn't see that part. I just went to the beginning of when she started her sentence. I wanted to see the full clip. I think the interviewer asked her.
Now, do you think
about what your advice would be? And she's like, if I had to give advice to women in business, keep in mind those 3 words: women in business.
Hold up. Do you typically, and I don't think people believe this, but typically people provide their questions to interviewers. Like, their publicist provides it to them.
Yeah.
So people typically don't go into an interview not knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
Do you think that they came in there, gave the interviewer that question to ask on purpose?
Well, I think that interview was all about that like you saw, it wasn't Kardashian Jenner. It's like Kylie and Kendall weren't there. It was specifically the Kardashian empire. Like, Rob wasn't even there because he's not. I wouldn't consider him like, he wasn't that mogul. It was about Kourtney, Khloe, and Kim and Kris.
So they wrote those questions.
And how they are like created this empire. So I think the whole interview was just based off them being businesswomen in this empire. So I think that was just the basis of the interview. So they probably knew that those questions were going to be asked. Maybe they might not know what the questions were, but they knew they was going to be all about business. So yeah, I keep emphasizing woman in business because I'm sitting here thinking now, did Kim say, here's my advice to the working class of America? Did Kim say, here's my advice to Waffle House workers, to McDonald's chefs, to cashiers at ShopRite? Or I'll say maybe Whole Foods, since ShopRite's a local business. So people might not know what ShopRite is on the West Coast. Did Kim say, here's my advice to students in law school? Here's my advice to single moms who work, that was my example, at Petco. Did she even say, this is my advice to like people like us, like people who work in corporate, people in tech? No, she said, here's my advice to women in business. So first of all, if you're not even a woman, exit stage left. Like, there's men on the internet like, Kim is tone deaf. Why would she say that? I worked 3 shifts at Waffle House last night. Like, sir, leave. She wasn't even talking to you. You're a man. She said women in business. And not saying that men can't give their opinion. You can. You can still call someone out. But it's like, why are you offended by something when she literally said woman? Then she said woman in business. Right. When I think of that, woman in business, she's not talking about me. I consider myself a woman in business. I work in business. I work at a corporation. I work in corporate. Like, I'm a businesswoman. You're a businessman. Like, you know, by like that typical definition of wear a suit and tie, go to work, sit in a cube, whatever. I mean, now we have open work plans, whatever, open floor plan. When I think woman in business, I think she's specifically talking about her, businesswoman, right? Businesswoman, women that create businesses, women that want to be business moguls.
She should have said business owners.
She should have, but just her saying, but just her saying the word in business should have ruled out all the Waffle House, McDonald's, pet co-workers. Like, she wasn't talking about you. Go back to doing your job. She wasn't like, stop trying to be offended by everything.
Not that I don't disagree. But technically, we're all in business if we work for a business.
But come on, don't be. People want to be so obtuse. She wasn't talking about you. Like, people want to sound so special. Girls, this is a woman in business, not woman at Petco, not woman.
She should have said business owners.
At Taco Bell.
She should have said business owners.
Yeah, she should have.
Or entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
Or more specific.
Entrepreneurs. She should have. Yeah. So that's why I was like, where is the anger coming from? Because, like, I understood what she was saying. Like, I still, like I said, I'm not defending her. I still feel like wrong messenger. Like, you could still kind of give your advice. And that's why I'll get into that in a second. But that's why I just want to start with. She said women in business. So it's like, everybody else just wants to be mad. And, like, I get it. People don't like the Kardashians, so they wait for them to make a false move. And honestly, after everything that I'm Team Kanye, after what she's doing to him, let her get the smoke. I don't even care that she got all that smoke. Let her be the bad guy for a while. Cause Kanye was getting all the smoke lately, right? And people were like, I don't even like Kim, but I'm on her side. Team Kim, blah, blah, blah. So let somebody heat off Kanye for a little bit. That's what I'm saying. I don't even care, but I'm just still kind of laughing about the people who are offended by something that wasn't even directed towards them. Like I said, I interpreted that she was talking to a businesswoman and she was saying, like, don't be lazy, because there are lazy business people out there, right? Like, they think, okay, I'm gonna like start my business. I'm gonna go on AliExpress, order lashes that cost 15 cents, repackage them and resell them. And that's the extent of their business that they will do, right? And then they're like, that's it. It's like, all right, well, what's next? Like, there are a lot of like lazy people. Like, if that's really your passion, then get up and work. Like she said, there are a lot of lazy people in the world. People don't want to work. I just watched Troy's video. He made a YouTube video today of like these kids. Like, in this video I saw on Twitter, these kids that robbed this lady. I don't know if you saw that. They pretend they were selling candy. Broke in her house. People don't want to work. People steal PPP loans. They want to get loans and just get money. They scam. People don't want to work. That is a fact. They don't. But she wasn't talking to you. She was talking to a woman in business. So the outrage is very weird. But to go, play devil's advocate, or not even playing devil's advocate, correct? Nah, technically playing devil's advocate, but to see things from other people's perspective, I do agree that she might have been the wrong messenger for the message. I think if she was giving advice, like specifically to women in business who come from privileged backgrounds, I mean, that's such a specific thing, right? But that kind of would be more of like, okay, like if she was giving advice to people who come from like money, right? Like how to come from money and turn that into wealth, right? Because a lot of people do come from money and don't become successful automatically. Like, people keep throwing that out there, like, oh, you came from, which is true. Your success rate is probably, your success chances are probably more successful coming from money, because at least you're kind of like, but even we had this conversation that sometimes the drive actually might be more in somebody who comes from no money. Could they have more to drive to get out of a situation? But you could agree that it's easier to reach success if you come from a privileged standpoint, right? Like, you have a warm house to go to. You have parents that you can go to that'll give you money. Like, you're good. Even when she was broke, I guess you could say, like cleaning closets for Paris Hilton, you were still cleaning a closet for Paris Hilton, right? You wasn't cleaning a closet for a random lady in your neighborhood, So it's like, I feel like if she would give her advice to maybe people like, oh, kids who come from privileged backgrounds, kids who come from money, how you could flip that into wealth, then it'll be received better, I feel like, right? Like, that should be your message. You should be the messenger for that group. That's a group. Because take her brother, for example, Rob, he comes from the same background, right? Same exact position as she did. He tried to sell, he was the lazy person that she's probably talking about. He tried to just sell socks, right? Flopped. And what has he done since then? Nothing. He's just sitting around somewhere.
Question for you.
So he's not a billionaire. So just because you came from money doesn't mean it's an automatic meal ticket to being a billionaire. You still had to work for it, despite anything that people think that was handed to her, like the sex tape, whatever. You still had to work. So,
how much work do we think that they actually do? And I'm asking this based on this.
That's a good question.
Dr. Dre Dr. Dre Beats, the company, sold to Apple for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre had absolutely zero to do with the production or manufacturing of any of those headphones because
isn't the same thing with Michael Jordan?
Yeah, he didn't even design the shoe.
Tinker Hatfield he would give the flowers to?
Yeah, he had nothing to do with the design of the Jordan 1. Yeah. Dr. Dre had nothing to do with the design of Dr. Dre Beats. If anything,
their name's just on it.
Jimmy Iovine, who was the one that came to Dr. Dre with the idea, should get the credit. And then from there, Monster, the company that makes audio equipment, is the ones that actually made the headphones.
Yeah, and there's people who are actually designing, doing the hardware.
Which is okay. You can outsource your work. I'm not saying build headphones from scratch in the laboratory if you make beats.
Because you still have to come up with the concept or the idea.
Dr. Dre's whole involvement, literally, Jimmy Iovine, here's a story, he came to him on a beach, said, yo, I want to get into, aside from music, I want to get into like tech and like other aspects of music. Said, yo, I want to make headphones. Can we take your name, slap it on the headphones? Dre said, okay. And that was it.
Crazy. And then, but today, if you say who made beats? Oh, Dr. Dre.
So my question is, did the Kardashians, with their makeup and all this other shit, were they working hard, or did they allow another company to make their products and slap their name on it?
Good question.
Because that's not difficult to do.
I mean, it's not, but there still is a level of difficulty to actually get success. Because how many people do you know slapped their name on something and flopped?
How many people have a name to slap something on?
A lot of people. I always use this example. Beyonce had House of Darion jeans. That's Beyonce. Flop. Nobody was House of Darion. It was named after her grandma or something. You know, they all have those French names from Louisiana. Yeah, you never heard. Exactly. You never heard Chicky Derriere and them Darions. Darion jeans. You never heard that song? It was the most like scissor leg, touch your heels, touch your toes. The whole lean, arch it back, girl. Swoop your hair, arch it back. You heard that song?
I don't listen to Beyonce.
Exactly, but that's my point. It's Beyonce. You never even heard it. Heard of jeans.
Beyonce's also black.
Nicki Moscato.
Nicki's also black.
Okay, true. But let's think of white people. I mean, I use the example of her brother. Rob came out with some socks. Somebody brought them socks. And he has a Kardashian name, and it still didn't go nowhere. So, I mean, I'll play you the song after.
Don't play me the song. I don't ever want to hear those lyrics again.
No, you heard "Get Me Body" before.
Yeah, I was never listening to the lyrics. That beat is super hard. Swiss went crazy on that beat. YouTube, we are talking over this.
Oh,
so
see right here.
We do not.
Wait. It says "Carry On." She's saying "in them Darions." She said "Shake your derriere in them Darions." She's not saying "carry on." I don't know who like I hate when white people just start messing with stuff. What white person from Apple wrote that? She does not say no "carry on." She said "shake your derriere."
Also, stop being so much racial tones. Some black person could have wrote that too.
I have trauma.
Damn.
No, a black person not write that. They knew that. They know Darion.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not racist, but I just
you gotta tone that down.
I have trauma.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we have ancestral trauma.
All right, whatever. Keep getting with your topic.
I grew up in a racist town. My school was on the news for doing KKK hats. Look it up, guys. Phillipsburg High School, 2014. I was a senior. Racist little hillbillies. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, I'm gonna answer your question. Yeah, I do think they definitely don't really put in the real work that goes behind, because it's not like Kim's in there in the factory stitching the skin pants. She's not. It's not like Kylie was in there mixing lip products and making the lipsticks. She's not. But I definitely do feel like there's a lot of hours that do go into like it depends on your level of involvement, right? And they say that they like to, and this is what they say, but they like to be involved in the process, and we don't know. That could be lies. Like they could have showed that they are involved for the YouTube videos, but I mean involved like as far as like coming up with the design, right? Like you're sitting there saying, all right, I'm not a good, I don't know how to draw, but this is my idea, right? And you're trying to relay that to somebody and they're drawing it. Yeah, you're not actually drawing it, but you're still at least involved. Because you could hire somebody to come up with designs for you, you know? But if you're actually in the process of like, oh, I want it to look like this, yeah, like that. And like actually in there, like feeling the fabrics, okay, yeah, this is good. Like if you're actually in there instead of sending somebody out to do that, yeah, I agree. You could have somebody that goes to scout for fabrics. We don't know if Kim actually went out to find the Skims vendor. We don't know that. But she could have very well went out there, went to the different places. Like we saw in the Kanye documentary that he was actually out there in Japan. So you could give Kanye his respect, right? Because he was actually out there. Like, yeah, there's other people involved, but like, he flew out there to look at the prototypes and all that stuff. Kim, I'm sure she does that too, because you have to kind of look at your product before it's going out or into production. But I don't know. They like I don't like, that's the thing too. Like I don't want to be a hypocrite. I always talk about how we don't know these people when people are talking. I don't know them. I don't know what they do in the day to day. Like they really could be out there like helping out. Of course, I don't think, like I said, they're not in there sewing, they're not in there mixing the lipstick, they're not in there actually design, like creating the actual packaging, like, you know, actually in there doing all that and like doing the artistry. But yeah, and I do think like another aspect of being a business person is selling your business. Like I feel like they're good at selling their business. Like, and we don't know that too. Like they could be PR team that have log into their Instagram and are actually making those posts, right? Like those Instagram posts, because you know they probably have. I know they all have brand pages, and there's probably people, they have social media managers behind those pages, I'm sure, that are actually running those pages. Even on their own personal account, they might have people who log in and actually make those posts. But sometimes they make their own posts because they do the little swatches, the lipstick swatches on their arms. And they, as a person, actually has to go out like to do a lot of things, you know, like PR, you got to go to events, you got to go to red carpets, you got to do all that stuff. And like the average person, like, a lot of people don't want to do those things. Like people are, you know, lazy. Like that, I keep saying about that group sorority, like they're in a lot of drama now because their family like completely split. And I was watching their podcast and they were talking about how like the two sisters just didn't want to do the work. They would cry when it was time to get up to go to like dance practice, right? Like they didn't want to sing at practices because they were embarrassed. Like they didn't want to dance. They were just lazy. And they had a Rock Nation deal that flopped because of laziness. So people are really lazy. A lot of people are lazy and they just want easy money. They don't know what they want to do with their lives. They don't really work, you know? But like I said, I'm not defending the Kardashians. I'm still going to say like she was the wrong messenger for it. She was, because there are a lot of women out there that are really trying. And they just don't have the resources that she did. So that's partially why they're feeling like, unless you really made it from the bottom, I don't want to hear your advice on even a woman in business. Me as if I was that's what I'm saying. Like the people who have the right to be outraged are the women in business that are working hard to actually try to make it. If they were the ones outraged, rightfully so, because she was talking to you. She wasn't talking to you who work at McDonald's, Petco. No, she was talking to women business, and they should be. And we could be outraged for them. But people weren't outraged for them. They were outraged for themselves because she thought they were talking about themselves. Because they were like, I work hard. I did the overnight. I did the graveyard shift. It's like, no, she wasn't talking to you. Like, if you want to be outraged for the women in business, yeah, be outraged for them. Because that's why I'm kind of like annoyed because I'm annoyed for them. Because, but two things can be true. Like I said, there's definitely lazy people out there who just try to do their little lipstick brand that doesn't do nothing. Try to resell glasses from Amazon. Definitely there's the people out there that are lazy and that don't actually put the work in. But like I said, Kim was just the wrong message for the message. They don't want to hear from somebody who came from a privileged position. Like I said, go talk to a seminar of a whole bunch of women that were born into money and give them advice on how they could leverage their privilege, you know? Because some people they're born into money don't know what to do with it, right? So give them advice. Because they might really want to know how'd you do it from your position of being raised upper middle class. They might want to hear it. And they might even be upper middle class. They might be considered rich. But I think upper middle class.
I think when he died, he had a net worth of
like 30 million something. So. Yeah, so they were rich. So yeah, like like I said, there's people that have born into money and probably don't know what to do with it. They sit on it. They don't do nothing. They don't flip it. They don't turn to nothing. So we got to give her flowers for turning millions into billions. You know, you had to give people their flowers. But you also have to recognize that you had a boost that a lot of people don't have. So you can't tell women business owners Like, you can't tell them, but you can't, you know? So that's how I feel. My final conclusion is wrong messenger for the message. He should tell that to people who born into money and want to know how to turn their millions into billions. Have a class for them. Most entrepreneurs probably want to, entrepreneurs who are starting from the bottom want to hear from other entrepreneurs that started from the bottom. They don't want to hear from somebody who was born with $30 million, their dad with $30 million net worth. No. Most people in the world are born with parents with negative net worths. So,
to conclude, we also need people to, and obviously everybody's situation is different, so I don't want to sound insensitive by any means, but there needs to be more of an emphasis on the way that you work intellectually. In other words, working smarter and not harder, because there's always the emphasis of, I work so hard, I work hard, I work hard, I work hard, and people aren't rich. But the thing is,
are you working smart?
The hardest worker in the room is the person that's working for the person that's working the smartest.
Yeah.
So you can work 3 shifts, and you may need that for survival purposes. And I, again, don't want to be insensitive to anybody that's going through that, because I don't know what that's like. Don't want to know what that's like.
Yeah.
Prayers to anybody that feels like they have to do that to survive. But I will say that the time that you're taking to work 3 shifts, there are things and jobs that will pay you the same amount of money for all three shifts for even a quarter of the time. So just trying to get into opportunities where your time is considered to be more valuable, which is corporate is usually they value your time more, so you get paid more to basically work less than somebody that's working hourly wage jobs. Obviously easier said than done. Not everybody has degrees and can't do that, but I think that people should not brag so much about how hard they work.
Yeah. And like the thing is too, like people, a lot of people don't look into the things that they could make money. Like I see ads every day about, you get your certification. It could take 3 months. It could take 6 months online. You don't gotta even leave your house. And I know
for $200.
And I know some people don't got, they might not have a good Wi-Fi computer, but it's possible. There's so many people that make it out from way worse situations than a lot of people who complain. Way worse.
Especially with these remote jobs as well. They're paying. They're paying. Before remote jobs, they didn't necessarily pay as a lot because
they're paying.
Now they're paying because they have to.
I told you the job my mom just got. Crazy, right? Did I tell you how much? But 100% remote. The job's out of Cali. She at home in Jersey, chilling, making mad money and not commuting. No gas money. You know, I haven't paid gas in my car in over a month. Like, the work from home life is lit. Like, everybody complain about gas prices, and I'm like, I feel my. It's crazy because I never fill my tank, right? I never do it, but I filled it to go to the Poconos. I'm still running off that. And that gas was like $3 when I put that gas in. So, remote life is lit. So, that whole working hard thing is actually really not a flex. Like, even with me, like with the CPA exam prep, like, me trying to get studying again, I'm like, I gotta study smarter. Harder is not gonna do anything. It's gonna give me burnout. It's gonna make me stressed. I gotta be smart. I gotta, like, all right, what time am I studying? How many chapters am I getting through today? That's it. It can't be, I did 30 chapters today. Like, no, be smart. Get your sleep, divvy it up, and make it, concise every day. Same amount of time. Don't kill yourself. Get it done. Be smart.
Let's get into the recent Pete Davidson debacle.
Yeah, I was going to say we get into that, and then I have 2 other topics.
Normally, we record on Saturdays, so we wouldn't have even been privy to this
And this happened today.
On a beautiful Sunday.
It was my mom's birthday. Well, still it's her birthday. I was at brunch. I didn't know anything was going on. I was chilling, eating.
I'm still not entirely familiar. You can get me up to speed. I saw a video of Kanye talking with his eyes closed. I didn't watch it because
he was praying.
His eyes were closed,
he was praying.
I didn't want to hear what he had to say. But
he was funny though. He was praying, but like when people like
he was praying but saying crazy stuff.
Yeah, like he was like, "I'm not gonna be gaslighted." I'm like, "Whoa, are you talking to God? Or are you talking to who? Are you talking to? Because why are you yelling at God?" Like I was confused.
Go ahead, tell me what happened.
So basically, it all started. I saw this actually right before the brunch, and I went to eat. I was off my phone, trying to be in the moment. And I came out to a whole bunch of stuff. But before I went inside the brunch, I was like, I saw the first thing Kanye posted today. He actually posted on his Instagram story. That was the start of everything. But the story was just him posting the video of him and Channy on the Jumbotron they went to the Lakers game, or the Heat game last night. So, looking cute. They posted their little video, right? He posted on his story. Then I was like, I knew instantly when I saw the screenshot of the TikTok. You saw that TikTok?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay, so now I gotta really catch you up. Okay, so you know how Kanye's been so adamant about, I don't want my daughter on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then he's even on top of that said, I don't want my daughter wearing lipstick on TikTok. Then it's funny because recently he said something about how nobody listens to MGK. He said that like recently. Of course, though, there's a song going around on TikTok by MGK and Willow Smith called Emo Girl or whatever. You ever heard that song?
No.
See, I got to catch you up to speed.
You said MGK and Willow Smith and thought that I was listening to that.
Yeah, no. I just thought you might have heard it because it's been like all over TikTok.
No. I have TikTok, but I don't really use it like that.
And see this, you can see the pictures of the TikTok. This is the TikTok with the crazy ass makeup. And let me actually see if I can find TikTok because they deleted it. Yeah, let's actually show you the TikTok.
Just keep talking though.
Wait, am I gonna be? Oh, here it is. Okay, because people be. This is the song.
Turn the song off though, so we don't get copyright. Don't have to talk over it. Just turn the song
you
down.
Can hear it, though.
Yeah, but turn the song down. Turn the song down. Turn it more. Turn it down more.
It wouldn't matter if you copyright. We're not monetized.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the song. So it's just funny because he just said that no one listens to MGK, and then of course, so I don't know if that was purposeful because usually the kids are the ones that come up that are privy to the trends. I don't think Kim is sitting there looking at the trends, which she might be. She might be because that's her whole life is social media. But that's the background. For weeks and months, Kanye, and like honestly years, because he said this on Twitter like years ago, how he didn't really want his kids on TikTok. He didn't really like TikTok. Remember, he'd been saying stuff, right? And that was the thing he was pushing with the custody thing and the kids. He don't want his 8-year-old daughter on TikTok wearing lipstick. So fast forward to, they're legally single, and Kanye said that he was the one who actually pushed for that more, and that's why he feels like it's weird because Kim will kind of like throw mixed messages. Like every time he does something nice, she would kind of do something weird. Like he was talking about how he tried, he gave her the laptop back from Ray J. She went on SNL and did what she did. Like he said he was the one actually pushing for the divorce, and she actually like wasn't as much as it seems like on social media. Which kind of makes sense because, like, remember she was at his show wearing a wedding outfit, and it's like, what? I thought you would file for divorce, right? Like, why would you even agree to do this? But so the Variety, like we just talked about the Variety interview happened, right? All the heat was on her, and PR be working crazy. Like I think her PR is that Tracy Romulus that he has beef with. He feels like this was like purposeful antagonization and like trying to get the heat off her. Of course, out of the blue, right? It's been months since posting a TikTok. And you're in the heat of this Variety interview and all the drama, and you post TikTok, that one I just showed you. Right? Like that seems purposeful. And it's almost like that's what he said. He felt like I was antagonizing because he knew that was going to get a reaction of him. Because not only did she make a TikTok, she has a full face of like makeup. I know it's like, you saw it was like costume makeup, right? With the lipstick. But it's still, you knew it was going to get to him. And then he said, he's a fully Christian. The lyric says, I fell in love with an emo girl. So he's like, why is my daughter talking about she fell in love with an emo girl on TikTok wearing lipstick? It's like everything that you didn't want her to do, she actually did, but even worse because the lyrics are kind of weird, And it's like, that's how he started. Like, that's how everything started today. He posted the screenshot. I was like, oh my God, he was doing so good. Like, like these huge Kanye fan pages are following me on Twitter because of my Kanye tweets. Like, I showed you that one guy who Kanye follows me. 2 other fan pages that have like tens of thousands of followers, and they only follow 1,000 people follow me. So I'm like, I'm always seeing this stuff happening in real time and their reactions. And we were all like, Kanye's doing so good. He hasn't said anything. He's not taking the bait. And they even had a whole Reddit thread of people saying, what do you think? They said, what do you think Kim's reaction is going to be to? And this was 4 days ago, to all this heat on her. And everybody was like, she's going to drop a TikTok. Happened. She's going to do this. It was like a whole bunch of stuff that they knew that she was going to do. Someone said she can drop a picture of Pete. What did she do? I don't know if you saw that. She dropped the picture with Pete. Did you see that? And what was she doing in that picture? She was wearing a jacket that Kanye got her. Like, it's so purposeful, right? Like, it's just nasty. It's so nasty. And that's why I'm like, not really, like, I'm fully off them at this point. It's like, that's why I guess I didn't even go crazy with this whole Variety thing to try to defend them. It's like, and it's just funny because people knew what the moves were. They knew, they know her enough at this point and how her PR works. So Kanye was doing so good until today. That's how it started. He posted a screenshot of North's TikTok. Made a whole paragraph about how I said I didn't want my 8-year-old on here. Blah, blah, blah. Then next he had smoke for DL. Remember we were talking about DL? You saw all that stuff?
I said I haven't seen anything.
You didn't, and he deleted everything now off his Instagram. But you saw what he said. Yeah, so he finally responded to that. I was like, oh, great. Like, you were doing good. But I guess today he was like, you know what? Everybody who has something to say, I'm saying something now. I'm on this long rampage about how no one really messes with him and stuff. And then this is something that he actually said that was kind of scary. I mean, I'm not even gonna say scary because I don't want to fall into that whole, what's that page called? I don't want to fall into that whole, oh my God, Kanye's gonna, I know who posted it. Yeah, first thing. I don't want to fall into that whole, oh, Kanye's, I'm worried he's gonna do something. But this, like, he posted, that this was his screenshot, and then he said, like, oh, he lives in Calabasas. Yo, God is good, because what he said before that was, DL, don't speak on me or my children. I could afford to hurt you. That was his last sentence. I could afford to hurt you. It was like, what that mean?
That he has enough money to
get somebody.
Well, if you went there, if that's what you were taking from,
that's what I took, and that's how DL took it too, because he responded.
Because he could have meant anything. He could pay somebody for information to put out for DL. He could.
And apparently too, look, I retweeted this today. This was from 2020. DL let one of his friends rape his daughter. Sick. And people were up here defending him today.
So, that, I don't think Kanye was saying on Instagram that he was going to put a hit out.
That's how people took it, though, because that's how even he took it. He was on, he's retweeting the Pete messages. But he said, ain't no way in hell I ever be scared of a dude who wears, I know what you did last summer boots.
Putting hashtag Team DL at your big age is crazy.
Yeah, that's what people say. I'm like, at the end of the day, you inserted yourself into this drama. Your grown self inserted yourself into this drama. So you're wrong at the end of the day. You look crazy. Because now you getting all this off. Like, you couldn't wait to get this off, And it's like, at the end of the day, you insert yourself in. Nobody asked you for your 2 cents on their situation, on their marriage, on their kids. And you all, Kanye's, he's, this is harmful abuse. Like, you can't just be saying stuff like that. And now I'm hearing you let a friend rape your daughter.
Allegedly.
So, that's what this is. But he said, here's a thought. While you're on your way to kill me in Calabasas, how about somebody drop by CVS and pick up his Xanax? So people did take it as a I'm gonna come for you. So
I don't think Kanye was dropping death threats. In addition, what he also probably meant was that if he did anything to him, that he could just pay the case.
Yeah.
Because he's rich. So not even physically, but, if he said anything.
Yeah.
Damage his property, whatever it is, he'll just pay for it.
So that was, he went on his little rant about DL, and that's when he posted the videos, right? And to summarize the videos, because they were like 4 minutes each. This one was only a minute, and this was a minute, but then this one was like 4, and then there was another one that was 4 minutes. But this first video was just him saying how he did no TikTok, like he was re-emphasizing that. He was saying how Kim called him, or how he just got off the phone before he made the video. He just got off the phone with her saying how he didn't want that, and he was just saying calmly, like, the crazy part is no one even calls him and say, hey, North made this TikTok, like, run it by him. He was saying, like, where's the respect as a parent, right? Like, at least be like, he said that, like, at the bare minimum, at least do that, right? Send me the TikTok before it's posted and say, do you have any concerns? This is the TikTok she wants to post. But there's no running by him as a father.
Women don't do that.
Yeah, but it's nasty. Like, and I get that us as women, we bear the child. Like, I get that we go through possibly dying to bring life into this world. So I understand that as a woman, the importance that we are as mothers. Like, we literally produce the milk that they drink, before formulas and stuff existed. So I get the importance as a mother, but at the same time, you have to respect the father figure. Like, that parenting still, you have to respect. Like, you can't have a kid on your own. Yeah, we do all that stuff and our bodies go through all that, but you still couldn't do that without the man. And where's the respect to the fathers? Like, I know, and like Kim especially still loves her dad who's passed. So like, you come from that world and you still act like a weird baby mama. Is this weird to me?
I think all women are like that.
It's nasty.
But it's almost like there's no point, if like that's your perspective, I almost feel like there's no point for men to even
to be in the life. Like, just be the sperm donor. And that's so sad perspective. And it shouldn't be that way. Like you participated in bringing that child into this planet. That's still your kid. And I get like you don't have that same connection as far as bearing the child, you know? Like I do feel like men probably do kind of feel that like, no, I'm saying like they feel like kind of like that like loss of connection in that way because they will never know what it's like to actually grow that kid in you.
Women can also be bad mothers.
They could be.
And I think most of women are bad mothers.
Yeah, and they actually do harm.
More
for their
harm
kids.
than I think people always focus on daddy issues. There's more mommy issues than there is daddy issues, for sure.
More girls out here, especially
hate their moms than they hate their dads.
Yeah, like I feel like an abusive parent, emotionally and physically, is worse than an absent father, in my opinion.
Yes.
And a lot of girls are messed up. Like Choice, I always reference him. He has good videos. He did a video showing like this. It was the mom who did it. Live streamed her like cursing her daughter on Facebook, calling her all types of names, and it's just like, ugh, it's so sad.
Especially when the women get older, and this is coming from firsthand accounts. So I'm not just saying this.
You know,
as a man,
you know, it's my mom's birthday. I love my mom, but you know, I have my stories. And we,
anyway,
you know, we were in a good place, but
just keep going.
She was mean. She was so mean growing up. But yeah, so you know that was, and I get that. Like as a father, how do you not even give him the heads up? Like here's a TikTok. Do you approve? Like that's still, you still gotta respect him as a father because those kids would not be here without him too. Like women forget that you can't have these kids without a man, and men can't have kids without the woman. We need each other to have these kids, and dads should have that right, like that, you know, that right to give that. Like he was saying, that's what he was like saying on his videos. He was like, he didn't want his kids going to Sierra Canyon. You know, he always emphasizes that school. He doesn't like it. He'd rather his kids go to like a different school that's not really like in the industry. You know, that's in like the heart of it. Like you're in Calabasas. Like, is Calabasas Sierra Canyon or Sierra Canyon in Calabasas? I'm not sure.
Something like that.
But you know, that's the school. Where all the rich kids go up. That's what they're going to be around. That's what their scope is. He didn't want them going there, but he said, you know, she wanted them to go there, and like he kind of always backs out a lot, and I think he's just frustrated. Like people see him as being crazy. I think this is just a pinnacle. Like it's just accumulation, like of the kids doing things he don't want them to do, and he feels like he's losing his voice. And I think that's why he was holding on to the marriage so much. I think he wrote down his caption like that. He don't want her back. Like he was like, I moved on. Like he said he's done. I think he was holding on for the marriage simply because he knew he was gonna lose that control of his kids. And that's so sad. Like that's sick, right? Like not right. Like why not send a TikTok to him? Like, hey,
I don't think any woman would do that.
This is a draft. Is this okay to post? Like, do you have any concerns as a father, as a public figure with public figure kids? Do you have any concern? Because their situation's different than regular people. Like they're public figures. You have millions of people who are criticizing your kid.
Women, for whatever reason, just have this mentality that like they are the possessor of the kid. Like they are the ones that own the kid. Like I saw somebody post earlier, and it's even in the words that they use. Like she said, thanks to my husband for helping out with the kid. It's like helping out with the kid. Yeah, he's not the help. He's not the maid. That's his kid. What do you mean helping?
Something else I noticed too. And I get it's still your kid, but I feel like I don't like that possessiveness that mothers do sometimes.
My kid,
like,
my child.
And they'll say that to the husband or like the boyfriend or whatever, the baby dad. Like, oh, like, give me my child back. Like, whoa, like that's so evil and little. Like that's something that's like, and you know, you could be jokingly doing that, but that's something that's so subconscious that you keep feeding that into your husband or your baby daddy's head. Like that's so mean. Like, oh, pass me. Or like, oh, don't even. Like, you know, my mom had this conversation with me too because she had her gripe with like family members saying like, oh, my nieces or my nephews. You know, like she don't like when they do that. It's like call them by their name. You know. Like, don't get, like, what's that possession over somebody? Like, if it's your child, I wouldn't even say, pass me our child. That's weird. Just say, oh, pass me Malika, you know? Oh, like, can you go get Alex? You know, like, you know, call the baby by his name. Like, you have respect for your child. Like, call them by their name. Don't say, like, bring me my kid. That's so rude. That's so nasty. Like, a lot of people are not meant, like, a lot of these women are not fit to be mothers. They have too many issues with men. They don't like men. They have their issues with the person they decide to have kids with. And then they use that. It's evil because they use that weakness over. They use that, like they know that the course will side with them. And they use that to try to hurt the man when something happens, when the relationship falls apart or when they have issues prior to the kid that they still bring up now when the kid's in the world. And they'll use that to target, like they'll fight with the husband and then be like, well, me and my kids are going to grandma's house. Like,
I have such a jaded mindset, and this is not about you specifically, but my whole mindset about marriage and kids and stuff is so jaded because I hate all of it.
It's so societal.
I hate it.
And it's funny because, like, you know, we're just going to do it because that's, like, what society tells us to do. But it really is kind of crazy.
I don't want kids.
We're having kids. I only want kids because I'm kind of, like, low-key, like, egotistical. And I just want to see, like, my protege.
Until something goes wrong.
I want a mini-me.
Until something goes wrong.
Yeah, don't put that in the universe.
I'm not.
God forbid.
Something goes wrong with everybody. Everybody has issues.
Yeah, we all.
How much stupid shit I've done.
Yeah, but doing stupid stuff doesn't mean you have issues.
I didn't say. I didn't. You might have taken that a different way.
You said everybody has their issues. Oh, you just mean like yeah. There's a lot that comes with kids. That's a whole conversation for another day. Because there is like that burden of like you're bringing a human into this world to live in this world that could to essentially suffer. Okay, see now we're getting negative, but yeah, I see what you mean. Like it's just. So many people are just fall in line of what society's supposed to tell you and are literally just pawns in this system, and it's just crazy.
It's men's fault. I will say that. The reason why it's men's fault, it's almost like the same thing as like the BBL conversation where men stated out loud that we desire this decades ago. Women are like, okay, well, I guess I got to do that.
Yeah.
They do that, but then run it into like the ground, and now it's like. BBLs are everywhere, but it's now women that are perpetuating. It's men said something once.
Yeah, men started. One person heard it from a man, like you heard Nikki. One woman heard it from a man. Now, like Nikki's a perfect example. She heard it from the men, but look at her network from her.
And now everybody's doing squats.
Like the thing with Nikki, Lil Wayne, what he said could have impacted like 3 girls, right? And maybe out of those 3 girls, Nikki's the only one that actually got surgery. The rest of them just went on without their life. But now Nikki is probably linked to hundreds, thousands of surgeries.
Yeah.
So you as the woman perpetuated more than Lil Wayne's comments did.
Same with this. I think that women feel so possessive over the kid because I was at one point what men said, like the men wanted to be the people that paid for everything.
Yeah,
and the women were submissive. Yeah. So the women were possessive over the kitchen and the kids.
And the men weren't really taking care of the kids either. They went to work.
They
expected the wife to do everything, feed the baby, change diapers. So the woman had that connection to the kid. Because not only did you birth them, but you actually raised them. And the men didn't really raise them. They were kind of just there and worked.
But now that's transit. But everybody's mother, like Kim is what, 40 something?
Yeah,
how old is?
I think she's like 41.
However old her mother is, would have been
60 something.
Would have been from that era, like
yeah.
Or even mothers older than that.
And you see, like that's what their family life was. I don't know if Chris worked, but Robert was lawyer.
Yeah. And so that's the women that are raising.
Kim grew up in that household, especially when they got divorced. She grew up in a single mom household. I mean, but then not really though, because Chris immediately got with Bruce.
And then the women the women feed their daughters and stuff, and then this is the recourse of it. So it's technically men's fault, and it's still.
And it's nasty because I seen it with my own eyes. The feeding daughter. I have friends with single moms, and I've seen it. It's vicious. I witnessed it. I witnessed the moms complaining about men like, while I'm in the house. Now you're impacting me. That's why I see why moms or parents in general be like, I don't want my kids sleeping over at anybody's house or sleeping over. Because now your kid's in this environment. I shouldn't be hearing you when I'm in middle school complaining about your ex-husband. Like that shouldn't be a memory right now, But you see how those like a lot of my friends have turned out and being raised in those environments. It's just sad. But a lot of them at least overcome it.
Let's talk about the Pete.
Yeah.
Factor.
So Pete came in so that was another thing too. Kanye was saying how he was trying to get his kids to get to the Sunday service. Like he was saying how there was excuses, like how Kim keeps coming up with excuses for stuff, right? Like, oh, North was at sleepover, she can't come. And then we noticed the Donda 2 listening party, North wasn't there. Like, and they're saying that Kanye said he feels like it's North because she's old enough now that Kim's using to try to play with him, because she's old enough now. Like, yeah, she is going to sleep over. And that's the thing, even with her being older, yeah, she probably is more busy than the younger kids. But that's like, she's getting older, so where she gets to speak her mind, she can give her opinion.
A kid being busy is funny.
I know. And it's like, you guys are rich. Like, send her on the next flight. Yeah, she's in a sleepover. And Kanye said, I'll push Sunday service back so she can make it. So that was the next thing he was saying. And you said his eyes were closed, so he did a prayer that his kids could come to Sunday service, but then, the prayer was mixed in with him coming crazy. You know what he said in his prayer? That's what I said. It's funny because it was a prayer. His eyes was closed when he said this. He said, I made you guys cool to the Kardashians, which is true. Because he was saying, how you guys gonna, like, act this way or something like that. Like, don't forget who made you cool. I was like, ooh, he's spitting. But you can't say that in the middle of a prayer. Like, I hate when people try to mask prayers and stuff when they really were trying to come crazy. So that was it with the videos. I think he posted something else. And then, as we know, Pete came in to the conversation. And I think, I don't even know how he I don't even know how he got involved, but I think it was like his manager or somebody posted the pictures of the messages. And I wanted to find the actual messages. Didn't we just have them up? Yeah, here we go. I think it was somebody that posted it, like his manager or something. So clearly he wanted the message out there because the messages are from Pete are in blue. So clearly Pete screenshotted it, right? Sent it to somebody. And you know, he's kind of like more private when it comes to his like socials. I think he had like, this was his statement, which is kind of weird because why are you coming out of nowhere? Like, I don't think Kanye even said anything about Pete in any of these conversations lately, but I guess this is like he used his opportunity. And that's why I feel like this was a ploy. Like, I really do feel like Kim and Pete, like I feel like Kim is low-key kind of like evil. I really think they were antagonizing him. Like, he was chilling. He hasn't said anything. He actually has not been ranting since he dropped his STEM player and down to 2. It's been weeks. Like, he has not been ranting. He posted his poems. You know, he posts easy music video. But he hasn't really been, like, doing, like, the paragraphs lately. And I think Kim really wanted to take this heat off for her with this interview. And, like, it's so evil what they did. Like, he posted the pictures wearing the jacket, trying to pull him in. You posted a TikTok after not posting TikTok for months, you know? Like, this was so purposeful, and it's just like, wow. And now Pete's dropping messages, right? Like, in something that had nothing to do with him. So, it's funny, too. He started his message with saying, yo, it's Skeet. So he's going along. He's going along with that. Isn't that kind of funny? You gotta admit that's kind of funny. Right? You don't think it's funny that he started with yo with ski? But I'm not gonna read all the messages. But he was saying he was like, calm down. It's 8 a.m. And I think maybe he's texting him this because I think he was calling Kim. Like, he was posting screenshots and the messages, like, there were messages that he was sending at like 6 a.m. to Kim. So I think he was up, you know. And that's not good because he doesn't need to get his sleep. Like, you was just in the Miami Heat game, took a flight back home. Daylight savings happened. You lost sleep, and you had to get up for Sunday service. So I think he was saying like Kim's the best mom. Blah blah, and you could tell this was purposeful because he probably would make sure that he was sending like good messages, knowing that he was gonna post them out. And then Kanye said, "Oh, using profanity right now. Where are you right now?" And then he said, "You know, in bed with your wife," which is sick. And my whole thing is, people are saying, "Oh, it's deserved. Kanye deserved it after all he's been messing with him." But it's like you can't be a hypocrite though, because I thought what Kim was saying, like, oh, she doesn't want Pete to get involved, doesn't want, wants Kanye to be the bigger person. So now why is Pete allowed to do this and people are defending and saying Kanye deserved it? When in the next breath he was like, he's saying, I'm trying to help you out with your mental health. Like, you can't be like, I want you to get better, but then that was the message you sent, right? Like, that's sick. Like, that's sick. And that could send someone to a spiral. Imagine seeing that. That is nasty, right? I feel so bad. I can't. So he's basically saying like that he's being embarrassing. It's sad to watch you ruin your legacy, blah, blah, blah. And then Kanye just kept saying like, you're more welcome to come to Sunday service. Like, he was just being calm with him. Like, come to Sunday service. Like, we can link. And he's like, why don't we meet after Saints game? Which is kind of why, like, don't say my son's name. Don't say my son's name. didn't even capitalize Saint. I'll be at the BHH, which I'm assuming Beverly Hills Hotel. We can have food, talk in the room, blah, 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 man to man. And then he's like, you want to come see me? Come to Sunday service. Kanye just kept saying, come to Sunday service. He's like, this isn't public. I'm not here with pictures and press, which is obviously all you care about. My offer stands. I wish you'd man up for once in your life. Let me help you. Man, I struggle with mental health stuff too. It's not an easy journey. Like, you can't be saying all that after you just sent the picture 5 minutes ago. I'm in the bed with your wife, right? Like, you look stupid. So... And he's like, I've stopped SNL from talking about you. Like, trying to say all this stuff. I stopped all this. I'm doing all this. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about. And these messages don't really prove anything. Like, but I feel like there's a lot of evil stuff. And like, and yeah, I'm not going to, like, I don't want to be one of those Kanye, like, he does no wrong in my eyes. Because he still contributes to it. But I do feel like we can't really speak on, we don't know what that's like. There's probably a lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. And he said that. He said, you guys saw with the Chicago, her birthday party. Like, that's a memory she might remember. Like, why was my dad there? Like, why weren't you giving him the address? And people are like, oh, you could have had a party for her. It's like, no, but why not be at that party together? Why not? So I don't know. I feel like a part of him acting the way he acts is because there's stuff behind the scenes that's making him go crazy. Like, this stuff happens all the time in this industry.
The thing is, though, you knew what you were getting into. So,
you did, and that's what.
And that's where I think it starts and ends.
And that, yep, exactly. Because I said that to myself today, like earlier. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, people want to have these cute little, especially mixed kids for like the look. Like the kids all the kids are really cute. And it's like, but did you guys discuss before you decide to lay up and have kids what your how you were raised? Clearly, Kanye is putting an emphasis on wanting his kids every Sunday at a Sunday service. Like, he's so Christian, he wants to raise his kids like that.
It's not, but yeah.
No, but he's always been a Christian, like Jesus walks. Like, this is not like something he just started doing. Like, he's always emphasized his Christian roots. Like, he always, and then you saw the documentary. His mom brought up God a lot. They went to church. It's not like it's a new thing. In Black culture, we go to church. I personally don't, but that's the thing in Black culture. Sunday, and I as a kid, I went a lot. And I know you said you didn't really go as a lot, but I was raised in that. Like, especially when you have those Southern roots, and like you go to those Baptist churches, like that's what he was raised on. So he wanted to raise his kids on God and on church and on religion. And Kim might not have as much of an emphasis for that, right? But it's like that's something you discuss before you have kids. Kim is public figures, social media. That's something you discuss before you have kids. Like, even that's something you talk way in advance. Can our kids be on social media? And I know that's kind of a premature talk, like before you have kids, but it's like,
look what you got into, bro. It's
and they're
like
both wrong.
It's like wife and IG model.
Yeah, it's like you wanted to have these kids. In the marriage for the aesthetic, but the lifestyles don't align. That's why people have such a push on interracial marriages and stuff, and yeah, do that. But I will always, at the end of the day, die for Black love and Black relationships. Because I feel like there's just something that's undeniable and unbeatable about marrying and having a family and being with somebody that we only understand each other, right? Like, Black people, we all have a similar experience and a similar upbringing, and it's like nothing beats that. Nothing beats raising a family and having a life with somebody that you can relate to on so many aspects, right? Like, me and you have so many conversations about our Southern roots and how your grandma's from Alabama, mine from Mississippi. Like, that same story of them coming up from the South. Like, people don't have, this is such a unique experience with Black people. Our roots being in slavery and how you have like, you talk about Cherokee roots, and I talk about, like, I was talking to my mom today, like ours was Choctaw. It's like, that's such a unique experience that only us Black people have. It's like I just can't imagine being with any other race. I'm sorry, that like love is not enough for me. It has to. We need that connection, that cultural connection, and it's like that's the reality of this. All these women want the Black man for how would you word it, for the assets, the stereotypical assets of Black men. And for the aesthetic, and because it's cool, and because the kids are mixed and have curly hair and loose hair. But then that's why these matches fall apart. None of them survive, because where's the conversation about, like, how you want to be raised? And so Kanye said in the song Easy, like rich ass kids, it ain't your mama's house. Because it's like, yeah, we're rich, but you gonna come to your dad's house and grow up kind of like, still be humble, Don't ask me to go get your food. You go into, like you said, go into the cabinet, step on your brother's shoulders and get the top ramen out. Like, cause it's different lifestyles. You're spoiled. They probably spoil them over at Kim's house. But Kanye say, no, my thing is, yeah, you got money, but you're not gonna ask for everything. Go get the noodles yourself, right? Like, don't be spoiled. And that's the conversation you have before you have kids. So Kanye's wrong too. Like, I'm gonna come at him. You wanted Kim. You wanted, she was so. That was your dream girl, and she was so, so sought out there. And look what you're in. And I do sympathize with Kanye, because he really has no one. Like he said, he tried to get his dad to talk to Kim. Donda would have talked to Kim at this point. His dad refused. Donda would have talked to Kim. And I feel bad, because he really doesn't have like any like real support family wise. Like, that was all he really had family wise, was his mom. So it's sad. It's really sad. It's just a sad situation, but that's the moral. That's the moral of the story. So, I got smoke for Skeet and Kim. If I see them, it's smoke. It's on site.
What else we got?
Yeah, I see we're wrapping, getting to the 2-hour mark. So I had two little conversations that we could wrap up with. One, this happened, I think, last week. But the Lil Durk thing, we could just simply quickly go over it. Like, Lil Durk said he loves that India isn't passed around. Meanwhile, he has 4 baby mamas and 7 kids. So what do you think about that? Like, because I see two sides of the conversation, right? Like, first of all, I feel like when they ask you what's something you love about your fiance and that's the first answer, that's kind of sick. That is kind of sick. Your first answer could have been a whole bunch of other stuff, but for your first response to be like, oh, because she's not passed around, it's like, dang. Like, are you looking at her just as like a trophy, right? Like, are you looking at her as I got this girl and I'm one of the few that been in her? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, I feel like to have to as a man to feel that way is kind of weird. So what do you think? But like I said, I do see another side of it. It's like, a lot of men might just value women more that have respect for themselves. But it's like, but you can't be that messenger. If you was out here, no little bodies and no kids besides the one you have with India, then it would be different, right? But like, he has 7 kids and 4 baby mamas. It's like, you are passed around, right? How you gonna call somebody, say you don't want a girl that's passed around while you pass around? So what you think? From a man's perspective. Because that's another thing too. Like, why is it that men could be thoughts, but women can't? Because it's like, how as a man could you be a thought if there aren't women out there giving enough to you? Like, you can't be who you are without a woman. So it's like, you expect women to have low body counts, but then you expect to also be a thought. So who's giving you their body?
It could just, both can be true. Listen, I'm here to mess around on this topic.
No, and I agree with the whole not wifing thoughts thing. If that's your MO, like, some guys don't care, like, whatever. But I could agree if that's your preference, that you want a girl that hasn't been in these streets. Because one danger too of having a girl that has been around is that you have a lot more people that might be coming at you. You might have a crazy man from her past that literally might come and kill you.
You inherit beef.
Yeah, and that's not lit. Like, that's not a life if you want just a peaceful life and a girl that's like, feels more sacred of her body. Like, some men love that. Like, women have more respect and sacred for their body. And I won't even say respect, because that's kind of like, but just have more sacredness for their body, right? But like I said, you can't say that while also having 4 baby mamas. I think that the people have more of the issue of who's saying it. Like, you have 4 baby mamas and your first baby mama looks disgusting. Like, look what you chose. Let's use a Pusha T line. Look who you chose as your Beyonce. Look at your baby mama. You seen Dirk's first baby mama, right?
I don't make disparaging remarks
against
against
people. Sorry.
You could get a car accident and be disfigured tomorrow. You look the same.
All right, you're right. No, but it's just like the audacity. And this is coming from me, who's, me. I'm not no pass around. I'm literally, I don't even care to say this. It's not even a big deal. Like, you don't want to my virginity. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm not even coming from a place of a girl with a million bodies that's out here, like, mad. I don't know pass around. But he's the wrong messenger. I'm gonna defend my girls who are out here wanting to be liberated. I'm all for sexual liberation. I'm all for. I mean, it's kind of nasty, but I'm all for just doing you. If you want to be out here jumping around and possibly get babies and inherit beef and get HIV, that's on you. But I'm not judging. But it's just like, my issue is more so who's relaying that message. And I just feel like a lot of men feel like that's their rite of passage in life, right? To sleep around. They feel like that's like a stage that they could have. But then I feel like, why is that same grace not extended to women who want to have that period of their life and it might be ready to settle down, one day?
What if that was his past life, and then since India, he feel like he's changed?
Because why can't the woman that you want have a past life too? Why, like I said, why is that same grace not extended to a woman? Like, okay, maybe that was her past. Yeah, she wasn't passed around, whatever, but she doesn't want to be that no more, and I could look past that. Because like I said, I do feel like there's also another conversation to be had, that I feel like there's possessiveness with men. Like, men love to know that their girl is like kind of like desirable, but that no guy will ever be able to experience like her in that way. And I get that, because that is kind of like, yeah, like, this is really like my unique experience. Like, no other man will feel what this feels like. I get that. But I feel that same way as a man too. No other woman should be able to feel what this feels like either. I don't want no man that's a thought either. So, I feel on that.
I'm gonna play a clip, and hopefully I can find it of exactly why men don't want women that are like that. Hold up.
But how come I can't have that? Like, how come women can't have the same opinion on men though?
You can, but women just don't care as much. Because if women cared and they emphasize that, then
yeah, that's true. It's on us to care. Yeah, I feel like women don't ask that. Like that stereotype about men asking for body count is usually men asking women. That stereotype about asking body count, I never really heard that conversation about asking a man what his body count is.
Because women don't care. If anything, women probably want more of a body count.
Women are weird though, because they'll be the type to be like. I mean, men are like this too. I feel like women will be the type to be like, oh, this girl had him, and now I have him. So now I get to see what that feel like. That's what she was feeling. Who's this?
You could keep talking. I'm gonna find the clip. Basically, my perspective on it is, I think even though it is weird, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I think maybe because women are possessive too, but men are extremely possessive. Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, the clip I'm about to play, I think this is the one. In a second, we'll explain it, but I want to talk. I don't want to give the audience just a dead silence. I think it's weird that might be the first thing, but I also do understand it at the same time, because like when you're in a certain industry and you have a certain amount of money and that's all people come at you with, you attract a certain audience. So out of the people that you get DM'd on a daily basis, it's like, how do you filter through the people that are just with you for the money, that have been with everybody in the industry? So I do understand that being a characteristic, I guess, that you find attractive. But
if you are like the provider in that sense, right? Like he's the money maker. India makes her money, but he's the more of like the person that has to look out for stuff like that, right? Like as like a celebrity, and as the one that's like actually like the one that's famous in the relationship, because India kind of got more relevant because of him. We all could agree on that. Yeah. So it's like I get he does have to like watch his back and kind of cover his bases, and he wants to make sure he's not with a girl that's been around that's been trying to hit a lick in the industry.
Yeah, this is why.
Even though she still could have her intentions.
For context, for all our viewers out there, this is a clip from a Martin Lawrence.
Wait, and sorry, not to interrupt, but it's kind of crazy that he did say that about India not being passed around, but she has a whole baby daddy too. I forgot she has another kid. So she got pregnant. Like it's like, maybe she don't got a lot of bodies, but look, she did just let herself get pregnant by some other man, and now she got 2 kids by 2 different men.
This is a clip from Martin Lawrence back, and those of you younger audience, or even an older audience that don't really know who Martin Lawrence was back in the day, Martin was different. He's responsible for like putting on comedy shows where people would come on stage, like Bernie Mac, and a lot of people got their start from. He was like
DJ Khaled of comedy.
Yeah, like I don't know if I would say that, because I feel like that would be a little disrespectful. But he was kind of like, he had such a huge platform, him in movies, and he had the Martin Show, and he was just a superstar black comedian.
His run was crazy.
So he used to put on these shows where you would have to go on there, and it was like a rite of passage. Like people would go on there and get booed off the stage. Like Bernie Mac had to come through there. Like so many different people had.
So it's kind of like SOBs.
Yeah, basically. So this is a clip. He would do comedy, stand-up stuff. People don't really know him for his stand-up. They know like the Hollywood washed Martin version where he became more cool. But you'll hear quickly in this clip, exactly who he was.
Put it into the mic.
Shout out to MC Light.
He got a tattoo on his chest, got MC Light on this shit.
Yes, he does.
And I used to fuck her.
That's it.
And he got up and walked out.
That's nasty.
He came back though. But stuff like that.
Yeah, cause that's like, dang.
Stuff like that, it like, and women can say the same thing about men, but men are so prideful and possessive, and that testosterone, it is different. Like he probably wanted to pull out a gun and like probably kill him.
Cause that's sick.
He keeps going. I mean, we keep playing it. But men don't like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I
So,
get
like,
that, like you said, like it's on women to have that. If you want, like, if you don't want that to be a thing, like women need to have that same respect for themselves too, then, and want a man that's not passed around.
yeah, right. Because like men now will look at this like, all right, well, MC Light been with him and him, like,
Yeah.
and then they will make a decision like, nah, I don't want her. But women, if it was
It
the
depends on
reverse,
that man though too, because like like
men that want the easy.
yeah, but
easy
I
route.
I think of like of DDG's like pretty open because of his vlogs. I think about how he said like how he wished his fans would stop judging Ruby because they all were like passed around, like you have to thought, like that was all his comments, like you would have thought, you would, you're with the this or that, and he was saying like like her past didn't define her, like he felt like they still had that he still liked her as a person, like she was cool, and like that her passion defined her. So some guys really don't care. And for him, he probably felt like it was a win because like she's desirable, and like who knows if she's probably not, obviously not giving up to everybody. So there's probably men in the industry that really want her and haven't got her. So for him, it probably was a flex too. So who knows? Some of that could have been masked by the fact that he felt like he was lit because I got Ruby, like
For sure.
But I don't know. Couldn't yeah, I don't know.
It's the ego thing because you don't want.
But that is nasty though. It's like, yeah, you got Ruby, but think about all the guys that also got her, like Cardi, Ian Connor, like, and some of the stuff I don't know. Like people like to throw bodies on her. And that.
Yeah, we can't because none of us were there. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But it's an ego thing, like, and guys are psycho in that way. Like, that's the double standard that for one, men hold women to higher standards than we hold ourselves. Like we'll call ourselves dirty dogs, nasty. Like we don't.
But women in your eyes are like to be like clean and delicate and
yeah,
yeah. And me and you had this conversation too. We feel like as a woman, sex is more invasive because you're literally letting somebody like go into you, like that you're physically feeling somebody inside of you. Like that's very like deep. Like as a man, you're kind of just going into something, like. But as a woman, you're literally like someone's coming inside of you, like not literally, like in that sense, but someone's literally like no, but that's like that's a really crazy way to think of it. Like you're literally like letting someone internally into you. Like this is your body. Like you're letting someone internally go inside of you. As a man, you just have a I was say you have a meat stick. You just have like. This is a physical, like an external organ that's going into something, and for me, that doesn't feel as invasive, right? That doesn't, like it still could be like and men still get assaulted and stuff, and still feels as vulnerable. But as a woman, I feel like it's more vulnerable and more invasive to have like your organ is like your sexual reproduction organ is internal, versus yours majority is external.
It just hits different.
Like your organ, you're literally going.
Okay, we got you.
No, I'm saying like that's like no, I'm saying, but that's why I feel like as a woman, that in my opinion, sex should be more for women sacred, if that makes sense. Because it's like, that's your body, like internal.
Picturing your queen getting pounded out is the craziest thing ever. It's literally just the ego thing. Like, because you can't shake that.
And sex as a woman, too, is more demeaning usually.
Yeah.
And it's more performative. Like, men can look, they're kind of there and they just look nasty. But, like, as a woman, you're the one that's, like, getting your head smashed into a pillow. Like, and you don't want to envision. You don't want to, like, I see what you mean. Like now you gotta picture that.
Because it happened. Like you had he had put his feet on her head. Like
it's nasty. It's nasty.
Like that's your queen. Like come on, bro. And if it's a bunch of people that did that multiple times, then it's just a bad image. I know that's like misogynistic, sexist, all of that. Yeah. I definitely do understand that. But it's just explaining the way the male ego works. And whether that's valid or not, I can't
I do agree because a lot of women were outraged with what Lil Durk was saying. And it's like, well, it's our fault. We need to put that standard on men too. We need to make it a thing then that men should have low body counts too. Like it could then let that be the conversation. Let's make that a movement then. Like, but we, like you said, that's never emphasized within our community. Like that's not talked about really. There's never, how many bodies, how many bodies your boyfriend got? No, but men amongst themselves talk about how many bodies your girl got. Like they'll talk about that probably amongst themselves,
I would hope, I would really hope we're past that, but I know we're not.
We're not. Like,
I know we're not.
You would think after the age, that's why Lil Durk's too old. Cause what was he, 26? He's still our age? He's like 25?
He's a little bit older.
Like 26, 27, right? Maybe. Yeah. Like, come on, you too old. That's your fiance now. We grow up.
We gotta stop talking about body. I mean, we just stop bragging about the people. It's like weird. I don't know. Like,
I think at the end of the day, people should keep their sexual life private, because then this will never be the conversation. If all women just told their man, like, I mean, you shouldn't. I feel like as a man, to asking your woman how or her body count is kind of sick. Like, if word on the street see to pass around, then just go with that. Don't ask her.
I don't even know if I care. Like, I have to really think about this because sometimes I say things and it's just like a passing thought. I don't even know if I care so much about the number. Mm-hmm. And this is just, don't kill me. Jesus Christ, do not kill me. But it's really matter who it is, right? Like, I need to know.
Yeah, like, who are you giving your body to?
Like, if I'm in a certain area, I need to know if I'm about to get a random fucking pistol put in my face.
And that's the thing too. That's why I was saying, like, I agree with that aspect, because men are, like I said, are possessive beings, and there'll be men out there that like go crazy once they get a woman. Like, you hear all these sad stories all the time about the women that get killed, and especially the ones that just try to move on. It's sad. And like, now you got, like you said, now you got to inherit that beef.
Let me run down the rest of the list, right? So there's that, right? You need to know if this is a individual that might be violent.
Yeah.
I need to know if they live near me, if I might work with them. Like,
yeah, right.
The world is small. I need to.
That just chills on my spine. Like, you never know. Like, and as a woman, this could same thing could be happening. Women are man crazy
For
too.
sure.
It just sends me chills on my spine. That's why, like, I'm good on ever going back out into any type of dating world, because it's like, just imagine that. Like, you meet somebody you don't know their history fully. And next thing you know, you got somebody stalking you, because some people are crazy. Like, people do low level stalking, like stalking a new girl's page, and just being nosy, which there's no harm.
You've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it. Fake pages, watching a new girl's page. Oh, look at his new girl. Like,
she ain't even.
Yeah,
I know.
And that's no harm. But there's a lot of people that take it. There's people that take it a step further. They find out where that girl lives, where she works, or who her parents are. They find the girl Facebook. Like, now you weird. Why you on this girl's mom page on Facebook?
That's
then next thing you know, they know where they work. So now they're sitting outside the job being nosy, and then it gets violent.
That's really it for me. It's one, safety, and then two, it's like I need to be prepared for any sort of energy that might come my way, because if somebody's staring at me in an area, and I don't know why they're staring at me, but there was some history that I'm unfamiliar with, I might take that a certain way.
Yeah.
Not even connecting the dots. I might take that a certain way and just think whatever I want to think, and then whatever I do after that is just gonna be what it is. Like, I need to know to be able to prepare myself to be in a situation where I might be around somebody that might make a slight comment, because guys do that. Like, you just saw Martin. Like, guys will do that because we know that that's like a sore topic.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I hit it.
And you have that leverage.
Like Ray J, I hit it first. Like, that whole concept is the
it's just so
male ego in a nutshell. So, long story short, I mean, his preference is his preference. I can.
And India did come to his defense. Was like, this is my fiance. If this is not what you want, then that's. Because at the end of the day, why do we care so much how he feels about his relationship? And if she's fine with it, then she's fine with it. Like, that's them.
I would have went with that with the first thing.
Yeah, like. And
I know that's not what would have been. I'll speak for him. I know that's not the first thing that he cares about, because clearly he cares about.
And now I'm sounding like a hypocrite. I was saying how I went to watch the Kim interview. I didn't watch the interview fully to see actually how.
I didn't see any of it at all.
Yeah. So, yeah. I feel like it's like, I don't know. Like I said, my like final conclusion is like, I kind of said what I said, but if that's their relationship and that works for them, then that works for them, And we shouldn't, at the end of the day, we shouldn't care that much. Like, we could give our opinions and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's their relationship. If they're happy, then that's good with them. Like, it's not your relationship. You don't got to deal with, like, people be like, oh, India's wild, and like, cause it is funny if people say like their relationship goals. I'm like, they're not my relationship goals. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a stepmom of 7 kids, but that doesn't affect me. That's not my opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm chilling. I don't got no kids. I'm not a stepmom. I'm chilling. So why am I gonna be so passionate about the topic? And I feel like at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. People be so like bent on the topic. It's like, well, that's not your man. That's what India said. Well, that's my fiance. If you guys are mad at him, but he's not your man. So as long as your man's not saying that, then why are you mad? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, yeah. All right, it's midnight, so we could just end it with this last topic. We could say the BBL topic for next week. Cause we get into that. Cause I actually am inspired because I saw this girl's video. You know that girl's video I always watch.
We already made a whole episode called the BBL business.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so we don't really need to get into it, but That girl, her name's like Queen Chiama. She made a whole video because it was inspired by like Ruby Rose and that tweet about people saying that she got to be
Oh,
jailed.
that thing. Yeah, we can talk about that.
And she was just saying how like
Wait,
how
are we tabling it or no?
we could table, but I was gonna briefly just talk about like let me see. Oh, that's the last thing. Yeah, we could table it, but it was just like maybe to touch upon it real quick. Like she was just saying how the thing with Ruby is that it really makes you realize like people that were brainwashed, and people need to get this mindset out of that. Like, you know, you see somebody with a nice body and automatically it's take out surgery, and like that's so messed up. Like we're so brainwashed into that people about surgery and BBLs that we forget that natural bodies exist. You know, that people naturally are shaped like that. And like it's just messed up that people keep pinning surgery on Ruby, and she's like, I did not get surgery. Like it's not that serious. And her butt's not even like that big. I don't know what people like. People are weird, right? And like I feel a lot of girls are just haters and insecure. But we could table that. We could leave that for next week.
You sure?
Yeah, because we already. I mean, because I had another topic and we were already 2:17. It's up to you though. But let me just bring the other topic up first, then we get into it.
Damn.
This is like the last thing. This could be short though. But I feel like we talked about this before, but I just want to talk about like salary and credit score transparency because somebody like inspired me to talk about this on Twitter because they were saying how, you know, it really had me thinking. And I was like, this is a really good like conclusion of my thought on about this. Because we always go back and forth about how we feel about telling the world your salary, right? Like flexing stuff. And it's like the why. Like why are you announcing your credit score, right? Why are you announcing your salary? And that's always like the why. And it's like, yeah, people are flexing. And rightfully so, you could do that, right? Nothing wrong with flexing. So I want to bring this conversation up because there was a tweet about, and let me get the exact tweet actually, because I said I want to show the tweet. I gotta go to my page. Where is it? Oh my God. Did someone reply to my tweet? Lord Jesus. Okay, here we go. I found it. Oh, somebody replied too. Oh, I should go back. Okay. Someone said, y'all are way too comfortable telling the internet how much you make. My mother doesn't even know my exact salary. And, you know, we have these conversations because we talked about it before, like how I tell my parents what I was getting paid when I was living at home and how that actually could be a bad thing because they know how much you make, you know, so they can make you pay for things. You know, we had a conversation about this, right? And I'm like, okay, I get that, right? But then my whole thing is I do think there's this thing going on where there's like, there should be transparency and how my main thing is that there's a thing called pay secrecy, right? And there's like that's like a legitimate thing. That's like study saying that it was like actually created in this society for us to have like secrecy over our pay, and because it keeps people underpaid. And we had this conversation before too, like about how when you actually talk about salary, people are actually getting paid more now because of the transparency. People are demanding more. Like that girl that even admitted herself that that lowballed somebody purposefully because she was like, oh, she didn't ask for more, so I could have gave her like 150 and she gave her like 90 or something like that. It was crazy, right? But look, if she would have saw a tweet with somebody who's exposing their salary, maybe she would have asked for more. And I think this tweet that the guy wrote was inspired because there was some guy who said he had this tech job and the pay was 155, and he said that, you know, he's not accepting that. He's gonna ask for 200. So I think that's what inspired that other guy to make that tweet. But like I said, I do feel like pay secrecy is literally a structure because like at the end of the day, why are we really so secret about it? Like, what is knowing how much someone makes harmful? And my argument to that is because people be like, oh, it's a safety issue, right? It's concern. You could be a target. That's like the main thing. That's what I didn't even see this girl said this, and I'm about to respond to her. That was a day ago. Glassdoor makes an individual posting makes them a target, right? And no, but someone else actually responded, so maybe I don't need to. They said,
bro,
a target for what exactly? Yeah, see, I don't need to reply because he said a target for what exactly? Because it's like
somebody lining you up for $80,000 salary is hilarious.
Exactly.
I don't have 80,000 in the house.
And that's why I kind of want to reply to her, but it's like, nah, like maybe I won't, but maybe I will because this is my argument to that, right? If that's such a concern to people, it makes you a target. Why do those same people who say that post their designer? Does that not make you a target? Oh, look at my new Yeezys. Look at my new
Wait,
my
talking
Gucci
about.
bag.
I
Look
have
at
to
my
no. I have to hold you accountable because
Gucci sweater.
you can't do these generalizations where you make a statement and then you just say, well, what about all these other people? Because you can't say that all the other people that post their designer have the same
No,
mindset.
they do.
No, but
No,
you
no.
have to give me
I give you a
specific
specific
examples.
example. I told there's a girl who on my original Twitter account who's kind of like relevant. She followed me years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, because I responded to a thread about people showing sneaker pics with their couple. And remember, we got like thousands of likes. I was like us with our shoes. I remember I was arguing with people because they were trying to say our shoes were fake. And we had to show, remember we were sending them receipts showing up the shoes that we brought. Remember that whole thing? Like that kind of blew up. She followed me from that. And she's one of those girls. She's always posting her designer. She's really she's from New York, so she's a New York fashion girl, like an Instagram model. She's always talking about, like, she's into streetwear, so she always tweets about her brands, always. And then she made this tweet like a year ago before my Twitter got taken. Posting your credit score and salary so whack. So when that's a specific example, and there's probably plenty of other people like that. But I could actually give you an exact example of that girl. I don't know. I don't even want to put her thing out there because that could be wild. Because someone might find her Twitter and be like, "This girl talking about you."
But how does that equate to the safety thing?
That's what I'm about to get into. People post all their designer though. Like a lot of people do that. Like
No. But if she's just saying it's whack and not that it's a safety issue, then I don't understand.
no, but she kind of says it's kind of like weird too. She's like, why you letting people know that? It's like, but why are you letting people know that you buy designer? Like, I feel like it's the same argument, even if it's not a concern thing. Why is me flexing what I make any different than you flexing the stuff that this expensive stuff that you buy? Because either way, that's equating to you got money in some way too, or you're trying to make it look like you got money. So why is me actually telling and proving how much I actually make different than that? And like another thing too is vacations. People love to flex their vacations, right? You see these vlogs all over TikTok, these mini vlogs, day in my life. $200, people at that Revolution toaster I wanted. Me making my toaster, my touchscreen toaster, making my blender. Look at my views, high rise. Going shopping, and they got the low exposure mode, and they got all the designer stores, and then they show themselves walking out with the Saks bag, right? And then it's like, going on a trip, first class, drinks. Not even first class, but they just be like an economy. Drinks. Okay, all exclusive. No, I'm just saying, I'm painting the picture, right? But then when the conversation comes to credit score, transparency, and salary, it's whack. It's so what's the word, like taboo? Is the word taboo? Right? It's taboo. It's whack. It's have some respect. But you just posted up your whole life, all these designer bags, and this is my conclusion. Posting your designer and vacation, all that, you could get away with tricking people because people scam. People fund that whole lifestyle on credit. They're in debt. People are living negative lifestyles as far as their funds. They're literally living life in debt, like funding everything that you see through credit cards. They're scamming. They're selling vagina. They're doing all that stuff to make money. So my conclusion is when these conversations come about salary and credit score transparency, like if people are sharing that, they're just mad because they can't participate in that conversation. And that's why I fully agree on, because why is me posting my little $80,000 a year salary? How is that affecting you? I'm a target, but you posting that you just took a trip to Saks doesn't make you a target. That actually probably makes you more of a target. Nobody wants my little $2,000 paychecks. Nobody wants that. But if they see you that you buying designer, you look like you got more money than me because that's half my check going towards your bag that you just spent. So if anything, you look like you got more money than me. So why is that never a conversation? Why is that never, that should be a concern? Why is it like, yes, my friend Rich.
There's a conversation too.
It's never talked about.
Yeah, it is.
People
always talk about people, Pop Smoke got killed from that. So yes, it is a conversation.
Okay, you're right. It is a conversation. I just mean as far as like, there's so much more critique about people posting their salaries versus that. And like I said, my conclusion is people, they can't participate in those conversations because if they participate, wouldn't that not expose you, right? If you're like, yeah, my credit score is 600, my credit score 680, like you're embarrassed by that, and you should be, because like you got all this expensive stuff and you can't get your credit up. Getting my credit up was actually the easiest thing in my whole entire life. I'm stuck in the 760 range. I've been stuck for years, but I jumped my credit score up 141 points in one cycle, just by simply paying off credit card debt. So it's like, why is me saying my credit score is like, I think my exact score is 764. What is that? What does that information just do for everybody I just said that to? What do they know about me? That I pay my bills on time? Like, identity theft. Okay, you could steal anybody's identity. Like, you could try to, like, that still don't mean nothing. Like, what? Like, people just want to have an excuse. And like I said, for me, it narrows down to they just can't participate in those conversations. So they feel cool when they could flex their bags. They feel cool when they could do all that. But when it comes down to proving that you actually got it like that, that's how I feel. When it, like, that's proof that you really got it like that. How come you can't tell the world how much you make? Oh, because your salary is probably $30K and you funding your lifestyle on credit. So you're mad because you can't participate in that conversation. Because we ask you, okay, how much do you get paid? Nah, I don't want to share that because you guys are weird. No, you don't want to share that because you're embarrassed. Like, just be real, Because if you was making big money or got this big crazy offer, you would be telling the whole world the same way you tell the world about your bags and your all-inclusive trip. Because they'll share every detail of their life, but they won't tell you how much they're making or where they work. Because they're embarrassed. They work in, okay, I'm not going to say a specific job. But it's like, it makes me mad because I feel like I'd be like, because lots of times, like, that girl making that tweet, it was after I made a tweet about, like, my credit score. So I'm like, are you talking about me? Like, don't be coming at me just because you are inadequate in that area. Because, like I said, that's how I feel. That's when you really prove that you got it. Because you could fake the funk. It's so easy to fake flex these days. There's so many people literally living out here with thousands of dollars. Like, how could you even go to sleep at night knowing that you owe thousands and thousands of dollars and have nothing to really show for it in real life? You're still at home with your parents. You don't got no like, credit. Like, when it's time for you to grow up and move out, what house are you buying? If your credit score is in the 600s or 500, I mean, you could get a house with but it's going to be a high interest in 30 plus years, So it's like, that's how I feel. Because for me, there's no harm in this conversation, in the transparency. If anything, the transparency actually is making people become less underpaid. There's literally a study about how people are underpaid because of pay secrecy. Like, that's a thing. Pay secrecy is a thing. Like, why did we feel as a society so weird about that? And I get there's some things you might want to keep private, but we really have to get down to the root. Why is that such a privacy thing? Who cares? I don't gotta tell you exactly what I got in my bank account, but what is you knowing how much I make? How's that hurting me? How's that making me a target? How's that making me any less of a target than you posting your designer? Like, why is that generally accepted? Why is Lil Durk telling the world that he got 40 million from his label? Oh, well deserved. But I go on Twitter and say I make $78,000. I make $80,000. It's like, oh, keep that secret. But Lil Durk says he got 40 million from his label and is well deserved. That's lit. He's more of a target than me. Millions of people know him, right? He could get, and he's gang affiliated. Like, he actually got real life, real beefs and stuff. But he's not a threat. He's not at risk. But my little accountant job, not even making six figures yet. I'm a target. Okay, you just mad because you can't participate in the conversation, and that's how I feel about it. I know that's why I wanted you to tell your perspective, because you.
I wasn't going to.
No, but I'm saying, I know we want to wrap this up, but you no, because you're somebody who keeps your pay secret. I don't even know fully your salary, which is annoying because it's like, we live together. Just tell me.
What's the question?
I mean, I feel like you have told me. I can't tell if you're joking or not. You just irk me. No, but my question is, from your perspective, as somebody who's more private about your pay, do you feel like you're only private because you're just a private person? Do you feel like there's any harm in transparency, in credit score, and salary transparency? Like, do you feel like it's more of a benefit or more of a harm?
I think it's both. To be completely honest, it actually is both. And the reason why, credit score doesn't really matter. I don't know why people post credit scores. That shit is just stupid to me, because it's like,
I mean, it's an accomplishment.
But it's the equivalent
of the personal accomplishment.
Okay, well, let me finish speaking. You just spoke for however long you were speaking.
All right, I'm just saying it's an accomplishment.
For me, I feel like it's the equivalent of people posting anything on the internet, because all of it is stupid, because nobody asks for any of this information.
Exactly.
And all of it is stupid. But the level of what is like, what I consider to be the okay kind of thing, it's the okay meter. It's like, somebody posts a vacation. People post vacations. It's not really high on the okay meter. But
it kind of is, though. It's like, just enjoy your trip.
Right.
What do we got to see?
But I think that there's other things that people post that are more like if somebody posted, I only had sex with 4 people. It's like, okay, like, that's kind of my gauge for it's like,
Yeah, it's like, why are you telling us?
yeah, like what?
But do you feel like I said credit score is an accomplishment? Like I feel like getting your credit score up, it showed like it is kind of an accomplishment. Like you, I mean, at the
Do
same
you
time, it's
want to?
like, oh, okay, you pay your bills, cool. You pay your bills on time and in full, cool. So I get it, but it's like,
But that's it.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's like you could be like, okay, but then it's like, why is it so bothersome to some people? Some people get real mad and real
I
upset
can't answer that. I'm just speaking of
because
me.
their credit score is less than
Okay.
700. And that's my opinion.
Okay.
Honestly, that's how I really feel. Because there's really no other reason that you're that upset. If your credit is good and you're doing good, you're not mad about that. You might still think it's weird, right? But you're not mad. You're not expressing how upset it made you. But yeah. So what about the salary then? Cause credit score, like I said, it's no harm, right? You agree, credit score is no harm. It's kind of just like okay.
Salary only benefits your. Yeah, it doesn't benefit you. If anything, it actually hurts you, and I've seen that since my dad is,
But pay transparency.
Mm-hmm.
You think it hurts more than it helps?
I've seen instances where it hurts. Like I just gave you the example the other day. I can't say it on camera because I don't know. There's certain regulations and stuff like that. But I was told by an anonymous source that someone accidentally put out the pay that they were giving a new person.
Yeah.
For this is a bad example. I'll use a different example. Because that one, basically, I'll just finish the example, but basically someone accidentally saw what somebody else's salary was. So this would be the whole pay transparency thing. And then, she was like, kind of like, that's almost double my salary for the same job role. So there was some beef there. Now, which was a bad example, but that can also still be true. Like payment doesn't, the idea of equality doesn't mean. Remember, like we were just having this conversation with about Jordan Peterson. Equal opportunity and equal outcome are two different things. People want equal outcome. People want to be in the same job role and make the same amount of money, but it can't work that way because you don't have always the same exact credentials and same tenure. Like there's a lot of different factors.
And work ethic. Cause you could have the same job, but you could do more projects than the other person.
Right. Like
so you might get paid $5,000, $10,000 more.
Even me, I have coworkers that all have the same job role and they all get paid more.
Some do the bare minimum and some go above and beyond and they should be paid for that.
Yeah, and people, they make more than me because they've been there longer than me. They should make more.
Even with the same title.
Right.
They're still going to get more because they've been there 10 years.
Yeah. So there's different factors. Some people have been there 20 years. So you take a 3% salary increase, they're going to be making way more than me who's only been there for like 2 years. So there's other factors. But basically another better example was someone's boss saw what the person under them, their direct report was making and was like, oh, nah, you make way too close to me. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but wouldn't that then give him the clear, the green light to go demand more? Which is what people's point is. Like, now you know what someone below you is getting. It's like, dang, I got to go make sure I'm getting my money's worth. And I'm going to go to HR and be like, I need this raise or I'm quitting. Yeah,
now people can take that approach or they can do everything in their power to never have you get another raise. Or not promote you, and that's what I mean. And
that's when it gets bad, because then you have that weird dynamic with your boss.
Especially if that's your boss that has the issue. They're
the ones who vouch for you to get raises. And so now they're gonna probably go to the board or whatever and be like, yeah, they just did the bare minimum.
And the promotion would be to take their job, so people do take it differently. So I think that there are some cons of it, but in general, yeah, I see the point. Like that's the reason why all athletes have pay visibility.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is it so acceptable? Like, athletes literally, their deals get put out to the universe every day. I think why is it us regular people are that bent that you making $80,000?
I don't think people know why that information is public. People don't know why.
But it's not even knowing why though. It's like why is the outrage not the same? Why is it they're a target?
Because we've been accustomed to that since we've come into this world. Most of us, we've always seen. This athlete made this rapper made this. Like, we've only known that. So we just think, for whatever reason, that's just, like, commonplace. But we don't... When they send out we there's a new hire. They're not saying, yo, this is the new hire, this is what they're making. Like, they don't do that. So we're not accustomed to that yet. They're working on it with, I think, New York, and I might be misspeaking, but I think that they're going to, first of all, they're not allowed to ask you what your previous salary is anymore, because a lot of what they would do is when they asked you that, is that they were going to pay you relative to your current salary. So even if the job was paying 150, if you were only making 100, then they're only going to give you 115 or something like that, because it's based off of what your salary is at currently. They're not going to try to give you what you're actually what the job is actually worth, that they don't have to, because your expectation is not to make a $60,000 raise in a job jump. So I think that that's confirmed. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed. The other thing is that they may be posting the salaries of the jobs on the actual
application. Yeah.
So technically that gives you visibility, because if somebody accepts a job and somebody just Googles it, they'll be able to see what the salary was. So I think they're going to address it. I mean, everything has pros and cons.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, your cons make sense. Like, that is kind of scary to think that, like, your boss might feel away about how much you get paid. That is a scary thought. But in another aspect, it's like, you could be with somebody who started the same exact time you guys both started. You guys both do the same type of level of work. You might do more. Especially, you know, and that's weird stuff that goes on too, with you being a minority, me being a black woman, you being a black man. There's definitely weird things that go on. You might be like, dang, why is my white roommate, why is my white coworker who does less than me? Like, I do all these projects, I volunteer, I do this, I do that. Why are they making $10,000 more than me? You know, so sometimes you see now, you're like, nah, I'm about to go demand it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about knowing what your value is, because when they're throwing out the salaries for these jobs, they're throwing out the salary based on what the job title is. It's not necessarily about you. It's, do you qualify? Yes, you do qualify, and then the pay that they're offering you is in the range of what the job is. They don't really pay you based on your skills.
And that's what they usually do, ask you how much you expect, because it's like, how much are you valuing yourself?
Yeah. That's why they say anticipated salary.
And then they usually review it. They review your application. They probably look over your resume again, and they decide on what they're going to give you. Okay, yep.
Because usually
we'll give you that.
They're not doing an itemized list like, okay, they know how to do advanced Excel work.
Yeah, they're just looking if you qualify or not. Yeah.
Okay, this is worth $7,000 to us. They don't really do that. Yeah. So it's up to you to really do that yourself.
Yeah. And that's why to this day, it's still so crazy to me that how I lowball myself with this job when I first got it. And they come back and was like, hey, we're actually going to give you more. I was like, dang, I could have probably said, like, what I'm making now.
And that's why I told you, a lot of times that initial salary, it's almost too late then, because then
the initial salary sets you up.
They're not going to set you up forever.
Time there,
That's why people see bigger jumps when they go to other places.
Like, imagine me, what I make now, I started with. Yeah. Because that's what Amira started with. Like, what I make now is what Amira started with. And that's why she's at 6 figures already. Because that jump was so easy. You only had to go up, 20,000. But it's like, for me, it's like, dang, I just got there now almost 3 years. And I mean, that's still not bad. It's only been 2.5 years that I got to that point. But that's still 2.5 years where I could have been already like in the 90 range.
Yeah. For me,
I'm almost there though.
I don't think it bothers me as much, because I know the value of myself. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily bother me. I think it might be bothersome for people that don't really know the market, or like, and me knowing myself is mostly just based off of, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like just doing market research. Some of that market research does come from things like Glassdoor, but those things can also be, not true, because
you saw your salary, you looked it up, you're like,
I was like,
what? It was like 40.
It
was like
40.
I was like, they way off. Like, that was disrespectful.
So sometimes it is a little bit off, but it's also just knowing like your skills. Like, you should be able to know if you're able to do these certain things, these companies will pay you X amount for being able to do it. Like, there's only certain people, like, for example, I know that there's only X amount of people, there's 10% of people in the country have a master's degree.
I think it's 9.
9% of people have a master's degree. You bust that down even more, only a smaller percentage will have an MBA. Yeah. So if I'm going into a corporate...
a lot of master's people are kind of just like public health, like education, all that. Yeah. There are a lot smaller percentages of people who do what we do. Because you don't need a master's in accounting. There's not that many masters of accounting out there. Cause you don't even need it to become a CPA. It was just the quickest way to become a CPA. But yeah. Because either you have enough hours of school or you have enough hours in the corporate world. So I kind of wasted my time getting a master's. The whole point of master's was for me to get my CPA like immediately after.
Yeah. So for me, at least, I know the market. I know that being a black man with an MBA at my young age
You're
has a certain value.
Mm-hmm.
So I just know that. So if somebody does some lowball offer, I'll laugh in their face.
That is true. I gotta think about that. That we're black, and like obviously, you know, I hate to use a whole affirmative action, but it does come to your benefit. Like these companies do want that good look. They want to have we have black associates. We're diverse.
And even if I wasn't black, my resume in itself would would jump off the page really for any company. So because of that, I know I wouldn't ever lowball myself in that regard. But I know that's tough for some people to do, especially in unique markets or things that, because these jobs, they pop up, they don't exist.
And people don't know how much money is open. They be they be saying, okay, we got 120 for this candidate. And then people be getting 80. And they had 120, up to 120 that they had to give. And of course, you might not be worth that 120. That's why those ranges do exist. But sometimes you might be closer to that 120 than you thought.
I would just say for anybody that has trouble, like really do as much research as possible. Of course, try to scout the landscape. Part of what really does help that is pay transparency and things like Glassdoor and Indeed and stuff like that. So I would say do as much research as possible, but really understand your true value. Like, and that I think will help a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I personally don't disclose those things.
Yeah, and that's your personal preference.
I just don't. It's just one of those things. Like it's all stupid to post anything online is stupid, but for me, posting that wouldn't do anything.
It won't do anything.
Like I like Instagram to post my pictures and how I edit and creativity. Like I want to show
that's not how you use social media.
Yeah, it's just not how I use it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I feel like the same people have that same grace for some of us. We just might like to, you know, we might feel like we don't really have a lot of people to brag to in real life, so we use social media to kind of get some type of some sense of like
achievement.
Yeah, or like not acceptance, but like praise.
Yeah,
like, or validation, because like, you know, I'm kind of like, it's weird because people always expect it. They be like, oh, how come you didn't tell us that you made that, or how much you didn't tell us about that promotion? It's like, because like, you know, I feel weird just texting a friend like, hey, I had a promotion. Like some people do that. And it's fine, but I'm not that type of friend. Like I'm not like, that's weird to me. Like I'm not about to text you out the blue and be like, I got a promotion. That feels brag worthy. So I'd rather give put that on Twitter or Instagram. So now if you want to congratulate me, you can. It's out there. But I'm not gonna just text you individually and tell you that. For me, but some people are different. Some people do that. I personally don't. So that's how I get the message out there for family and friends, social media.
Last thing, and then we got around.
Yeah, this is our longest pod.
Nah, it actually isn't.
It's not?
No, we had one that was like 3, I think. Like right at 3. But I gotta be up in like 5 hours.
Work, yeah. We lost the hour too.
There was an example of recently where a coworker was asking me, like basically trying to figure out what I make. And me providing that information doesn't benefit me. So I'm like, I'm not gonna, first of all, it was mostly probably being nosy, but also if I did provide that information, then they would get the benefit of it and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So like,
because like, how come I like, what's yours?
Yeah, and I don't care what yours is, so I'm not asking. And one of his responses was like, he sees what other people are getting paid in other places and he's like evaluating his options. But that's one of those things where it's like, don't ask what you're making in comparison to me. Like you should know your value. And if you see what other people are getting paid in those other places, then, you know, and you want to leave, then go leave.
Yeah.
But, you know, asking me.
It's like,
like it makes sense to ask me, but I'm not going to provide that because like there's no benefit for me of you knowing my salary.
Yeah.
It's only a benefit for you if I provide you my salary or provide you what rate I was able to get based on X amount of credit score. But I'm not here to benefit anyone. I'm here to benefit myself. So I'm not gonna, I'll gatekeep information about myself. I'll try to help people to, you know, get a better credit score. Because I was probably the closest I ever got to 800 was like 2 months ago. I could have posted that. It was like 780, 790 or something. Mm-hmm. I could have posted that. I'm saying it now, which was whack, but
I don't think it's whack.
I don't.
It's just same thing as saying I got a degree. Like
I would give keys to maybe achieve a higher credit score, but I wouldn't necessarily say what my credit score is, but you would have to.
Yeah.
so people would listen. But I don't know. It's just not
Like I
like
said, like for me, I really had to think deep. Like, what's the harm? And the only thing people could say is identity theft. Like that for me, that's not a strong enough argument. Like for me, it's like there is no harm.
There's no identity
There's
theft.
no harm when people knowing, like your credit score is like people really don't understand. Like it's not a secret thing. Your credit score is the equivalent to like your report card or your grades, because it's just a rating on how you pay back your debts. That's all it is.
Which is private.
It's just a rating.
Which is a private thing.
No, but you could go on the BBB right now and see what Moody's ranks companies. So how come as a person you're that concerned that people know about your score?
Because people are judgmental and people are pieces of shit.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. People only feel inadequate in that area, and that's why they have so much anger about people who post it. Like, oh, you guys are whack. That posted score. Why am I whack? Because you can't post yours. Like that's my only conclusion. Because what makes me whack? That I'm posting my score on how I pay back bills. Like that's what all it really is. It's just a rating on how you pay back your how you pay back your debts. That's all it is. Not no like super FBI secret number that's like you got to keep secret. Like, it's not your social security. Your social security, duh, you're not gonna share that. Your address, duh, you're not really gonna share that, even though you could find that easily too.
It's probably just because people don't, like I said, people don't equate it to being the same as posting a vacation.
But why? That's the thing. For me, it's always why.
I think it's because people don't do it. Like you don't
because they can't do it though. That's my point.
But I think there's people that can do it and still don't do it. Like I can do it and still don't do it.
Okay, you're right.
But it's not like a common thing to like. Do your parents post their credit score?
Yeah, but our parents didn't grow up on social media, so it's different. I see a lot. I actually do see a lot of people post it, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy my score went up 50 points." And yeah, they're not saying what the score is, but people always announce stuff like that because that's an achievement to them. And this is like, but why? Like, you really got to ask yourself, why is that bothering you so much? Like, how is that different than people posting that they got all A's in this semester and what their GPA is? Me posting my GPA is literally the same thing as my credit score. This is how my GPA reflects how I pay back. I mean, my GPA reflects on how I do my schoolwork. You look at my GPA, you're like, okay, they're a good studier, they're a hard worker, right? You look at my social security, oh my gosh, I'm tired. You look at my credit score and it's like, okay, she pays back her bills. How is that any different? How is my 4? I don't have a 4. I had like a 3.2 or something in grad school, or 3.3. 3.4. I think it was a 3.4. How is me posting my 3.4 GPA any different than me posting my credit score? Both of them are just numbers showing how I am. Both of them are kind of just ratings. Your GPA rates how you worked.
But I just think that it's not commonplace that people post those things.
People's credit score is bad. You have to admit, a lot of people's scores are bad. You know how a lot of people are living in debt. Unfortunately, it's sad. So it's just not something they can participate in. It's not that they don't do it. It's a lot of people can't do it because they don't want to be embarrassed. And a lot of people can do it like you, but they just, you're just not like, you're not that person at all. That's the thing about you. You're consistent across the board. You don't post nothing. You don't even post the trips. You post after and post 2 pictures. People want to know anything about your day. They don't know. They want to know they want to know any ins and outs of the trip at all. So you're consistent on that. But there's some people that will post all the designer, all this, but when a conversation about salary comes up, they're all of a sudden it's not a flex, and that we should keep that to ourselves. You should have kept your little Jamaica trip to yourself and your Saks Fifth Ave trip. I didn't need to know that either, right? So, I don't know.
You good?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know I always interrupt you when you be trying to get in your bag, but.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been a Couple of Things podcast.
We're gonna table the BBL combo. We can use that. We can make that next week. Don't say bye like that. Be nicer. Be nicer. Alex, give me it. Plug it back in and say bye. Give me.
I said bye. You gonna break the mic?
No, you said it bye abruptly. Do your outro now.
There's no outro. We gotta kill the outro. I don't want to do the outro anymore.
Okay.
We gotta stop doing the intro. We just
do whatever then. All right, bye guys. Hope you guys have a nice week.
No, I don't care about your week. Honestly, if you got to this point in the podcast, you need a life. But if you have, thank you for rocking with us. It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal. This has been a Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things. See you guys next week. I'm going to get like 3 hours of sleep to get this edited. No, don't touch my laptop. Okay. So hopefully you guys appreciate it and don't say anything else.
I was gonna say split the Kanye Kim clips.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'll do all the editing, like the
you're not touching my
bio,
keyboard.
the bio,
Bye.
the description.